the back corner when I'm not presenting.
Listening in.
And listen in.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Bass University Live here on Tuesday night.
Take a quick break. Watch John Cruz's on the Tokyo rig.
Be a part of the show. Get some chances to win some awesome prizes.
This Bass you go. You know, we didn't have that back then. And dude, it could just...
That text thread gives me so much energy. I mean, like I'm dialed.
Everybody, welcome to Bass University Live. Glad you could hang out with us tonight. Very excited. There's so much going on right now with everybody at Bass University. I'm just fresh back from the Bass Open at Thousand Islands. Ike and I both competed there this week and concluded the BFL season. A lot of fun, great time hanging out with all those guys and finishing up also on Thousand, St. Lawrence River out of Messina, finishing up that tournament trail. And it was, it's been a lot going on. The Carpenters catching multi-species out of 200 feet of water. Riz is always busy with a rod in his hand. And we have with us tonight, who I love when he's on our show, just a wealth of knowledge. Great to have him again tonight. Is Ken Duke is with us tonight. We've got, we're going to be talking about Thousand Islands. We're going to be talking about the history of this body of water, the importance it has in the sport of fishing, for the Bassmaster Classic, for so many anglers getting their career kicked off here at this body of water. And it's got so much history, and it's changed so much from being largemouth dominated to now smallmouth, just absolutely crushing everything. And we've got Kolo, our guy from Humminbird, Minn Kota, who set another Guinness World Record for a 24-hour fish catching craziness. And we love having him on the show. He's so full of juice. I'm so excited to hear about his new record and the great cause that he does this for. So he's going to be on with us here in just a little bit, and we'll be able to talk also about Mega Live, Mega 360, and all your Humminbird stuff. We'll be talking to him here in just a little bit. So it's going to be a great show. Hang in there with us. BTC, Riz, good to have you guys with us. We got us up and off the ground pretty good.
Yeah. Surprised?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smooth.
Here we are.
Yeah. It
think
happened. Maybe. We'll see. Hopefully.
Yep. Hopefully. Well, it's all good. It's good to have you guys. And of course, Ken Duke, thanks again, buddy. Appreciate you joining the party tonight, buddy.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure, gentlemen. Whenever I hear from you guys, I'm usually wearing my Bass U cap, so I'm usually ready to go on the air at a moment's notice, just so you know.
Gotta love it. Always ready.
That's like when he talks.
Yep. We'll be calling you next Tuesday, Ken.
I love the prep. I wish everybody could see the prep for the show, because I had forgotten that I put the mute button on my computer hours ago. And so Brian and Riz are scrambling, trying to find out why I'm not replying to them. And things are getting serious. You know things are getting serious, Pete, when Brian puts his readers on.
Oh.
That's a sign that
That's a lie.
that all hell has broken loose, and somebody's got to save the day.
That's a dang lie. No, I don't wear them things.
Yeah. It's fun to watch him scramble for the readers. Him and me both. We're always seem to be short a pair when we need them.
Lies everywhere.
Well, it's going to be great. Ken, you have so much knowledge on the sport, man. And we're talking about one of the bodies of water that's, man, sport's been going there for 30 years or more, 40 years or more.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Pete. I mean, the first time that BASS, for example, went to the St. Lawrence River was back in 1977. It was a different fishery at that time. There were a lot more largemouth being caught at that time. What really put the St. Lawrence on the map, though, was when they took the Classic there in 1980. It's still, I think, probably the farthest they've ever taken the Classic north. I think it's further north than the 2000 Classic when they were in Chicago, and just an amazing fishery.
It is. It's beautiful as well. The water's crystal clear, and there's islands everywhere. It's very unique. It's a unique piece of water in the country. So, and it was a treat to be there. Look forward to diving into that with you. There's so much to talk about.
Hey, let me interrupt you, Pete, and congratulate you, man, for winning the points title and AOI in the BFLs. That is a big deal.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you recognizing that. It was fun. It was it kind of started off with Justin Kimmel kind of goading me into getting out there and fishing the BFLs here locally. I know Riz he won the super tournament last year on the Upper Chesapeake, and I participated in that. And so we started out there this year, and next thing I know, the next tournament's on the schedule. I'm not signed up, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going, and I just kept entering the tournaments and found myself in the points lead after 4 events, and in a perfect position to throw it all away at Thousand Islands, and I almost did.
Well, now when you're out there fishing the BFLs and you're seeing a lot of guys out there, because usually there's some big fields in the BFLs, do you see a lot of Bass U subscribers and members?
It's tremendous. Our subscribers are there, and it's great, and I love participating in it because of that. Everybody comes up and tells me what they like and their favorite seminar and how it's helping them, and my subscribers are they're my partners, my co-anglers. A lot of times, my co-angler from the last day of the BFL, him and his whole club, are subscribers to Bass U TV, and it's great. It's great to interact with them all and see everybody out there, see the Bass U colors flying, and it was great to represent Bass U out there.
Not just represent, but you put the throwdown on him. You showed him that the dean is still in charge.
That's right.
There's still a lot to learn from the dean.
Still in charge. It was pretty good, and the waves come like it's crazy when you start knocking out those top 10s, and it seems like when you get on a body of water, like everywhere you throw, there's a 4-pounder, and it's an unusual sensation. And I tried to ride it as long as I could, and I'll give you the version of what happened to me on the last day up there, because I had never fished out of Messina. Messina is about an hour and a half east of Clayton, New York, where it's the only part of the river system I've ever fished out of. And I prepared for the Open. I put my eggs in that basket, and so coming out of Messina, I had some help from Ike. Ike had fished, a lot in that part of the river, and he was helpful getting me into what we thought was a really good area. And man, I could not make it happen, Ken. It was a long boat ride, and the bites were not coming. We had a 15-inch limit, and I'm catching 12-inch smallmouth, which don't help you in any way. But any one of those fish would get me the points championship. I just need to not goose egg. That's all I needed to do. I'm in great shape, and I have to. At 12 o'clock leads to 1 o'clock, goes to 2 o'clock, and I have to depart. I have to leave my area at 2:30, drop dead to make it on time. It's just an hour and change boat ride back, and what I wound up doing was I wound up fishing shallow. I wound up picking up a spinnerbait, and I intended on drop shotting. Everything I'd been doing all week was 15 to 30 feet of smallmouth were deep, and just could not make that happen. And the wind blown points, classic pattern. Anywhere in the country, guys, if you ever get in trouble like I was, wind blown points. If they are not muddy, if the wind's blowing on them and there's some good clarity there, pick up a spinnerbait. That's what I did. I put a 3.5 pound smallmouth in the boat with probably 15 minutes to spare, and that gave me the AOY title. Catching that one fish is what did it for me. And I wound up putting another one in the boat shortly thereafter, and then of course I ran out of time. But I was so excited. What a fun way to catch fish. But I didn't have the time to explore the pattern, so I'm gonna have to go up there next weekend maybe and throw some spinnerbaits around.
Pete, what you just said, it like rings something home to me listening, and I think it will for a lot of our guys listening as well, that even though you knew at that point it was late in the day, you probably weren't going to be able to put together the whole 5, just those 2 fish were so key for you to win that AOY. Like if you just said, if you don't get one of those 2 bites or both of those bites, you don't win the AOY. So it just like, it reinforces the fact that like, even when you're having a bad tournament and, the day is just going to crap, even if it's not a point series, don't give up on that day. Keep working, keep trying to figure out how to produce that one bite, that one more bite after you get the first bite. Just like Kevin Short was saying last week, one bite leads to the next bite. So like,
Right.
don't throw the towel in on those tough days, because you never know when that resiliency that you're learning as you're fishing is going to kick in for you in the event where you need that 1 or 2 fish to win the AOY. It's like a lot of guys say all the time, when you're out practicing or you're just fun fishing, treat every time you're out there like it's the Bassmaster Classic and you always just need one more fish to win the Classic. That in that moment, Pete, you making that decision to go up shallow, get the spinnerbait in your hand, get a couple bites. Now you're the AOY. It really rings home to treat every tournament like you're like you're fishing for the big one. So.
Yep. Well, it's kind of weird, and I do that, Rich. Honestly, when I'm out training guys, it's one of the tools that I use to train guys with to put them on the clock.
Yeah.
All right. We've had a training day or a practice day. We've got 1 hour. You have to get a bite in this 1 hour. What are you going to do? And put yourself in. You know what it's like? It's like the I read a lot of coaching books for basketball, for NCAA basketball, Coach Krzyzewski and Bobby Knight, and they do all these game play situation stuff. Where okay, we got 30 seconds on the clock, we're down by 1. Okay, here's what we're going to practice, and they do that over and over again. Or we're up by 1 and we have to protect our lead. And I thought, man, we need to apply that to fishing.
Yep.
How can we apply that? Like, I need to get 5 or I need to get 1. Put yourself in those situations, because most guys only practice decision making in a tournament.
Right.
And man, that's a hard place to be practicing that.
Yep.
Especially when you can do it. You can do it on a regular fishing day. Get some really good decision making practicing in, and man, it can pay big dividends.
I love that you channeled your inner Mike McClelland, your inner Todd Faircloth, your inner Gerald Swindle, the guys who always come to the scales with fish, and also kudos to you, Dean, because you were wide open and absolutely aware of what it was going to take for you to win the points. And you knew the way to do that. So, and very ballsy to wait to that last minute. A very gutsy move.
Just wanted to keep them sweating.
Oh, well, I tell
Very
you,
gutsy.
it would have been. It's weird, and this is they moved our limit up to 15 inches for the BFLs, for no matter what the state regs are, and so we had a 12-inch limit on that tournament, and I caught 5 12 to 15-inch fish prior to finally catching the good ones, so that put a lot of pressure on me. It really did.
Did the 15-inch limit, Pete, help you overall though? did that kind of play into your style
You mean for the year?
for the year?
No, well, I tell you what, this tournament was the only tournament. Even this tournament, Ken, I went into every single event with a plan to win. Right? That I never went after points. I never tried to, and that's why I was in such deep trouble. You know, I had ran by some areas that, you know, that I thought maybe I could get some fish at, in order to get to where I thought I could win, you know, and so I invested, and I stayed even up until like an hour to go. You know, I know it can happen fast. It's Thousand Islands. There's so many 4 and 5 pounders, and you can put them in the boat quick. And you know, so yeah, I fished to win every single time in these events, and it's a lot of fun. I do the same thing in the opens. Back when my first ever tournament was on Thousand Islands, I finished middle of the pack, and I was happy to score the points and get the points. But now my goal is not to get points. I'm not trying to make the elites. I'm trying to make the classic again. And so I'm practicing winning, you know, every time out of the gate. And I love it. I'm having so much fun swinging for the bleachers in these tournaments. It's really fun, because if I was after points and making those checks, I'd be really mad because I missed the check at the Open by 1 ounce. Do you have any stats on that? Like, who has missed the money more than Pete Kluzak by 1 ounce?
I don't have that. I can tell you some of the guys who've been bubble boy for making the classic more than anybody else. Guys like Mark Menendez and even Jonathan Van Dam and Woo Daves, who have all missed multiple classics by being the first guy out.
I could picture
That's
Woo
over
in
the
a
course
bubble.
of a season, but when you're the bubble boy like that, that's kind of painful.
Yeah. Woo in a bubble.
We win a bubble.
Yeah. I see
It was a multiple bubble boy.
I see it.
And it's hilarious because if you talk to a lot of these guys who fish the elites or used to fish the top 150s or whatever, there's invariably about 10 of them who think they're the bubble boy. And of course, only one can be the bubble boy, but it's hilarious. You know, everybody thinks that they're the one being victimized.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, it hurts. This is a great story, Ken. I don't know if you've heard this story. I'm going to tell it because I don't know if other guys
wrote a song about it. Like to hear it? Here it go.
Here we go.
Oh, and
Lake
then living color reference there.
Lake
Very nice.
Eufaula.
Yes.
I'm in good position to make the classic. I'm right there. I'm in, but I need to have a middle of the pack or better tournament, and I finished middle of the pack. So I can't even sit around the weigh-in. I'm so nervous. I just go for an hour and a half drive because they got to tabulate the results, wait for everybody to finish weighing in. I come back and it's all over. And this is back before we got text messages, right? We had to get printed pieces of paper.
Smoke signals.
Yeah, smoke signals with the information on it. And I pull up, and on the PA system, they're saying, Pete Kluzak, can you please report to the media trailer? And I go in there, and I'm thrilled, and I sit down, and Tim Tucker's there, and he goes, Pete, puts the mic in my face. What's it feel like to be the first guy out of the class?
Oh my goodness.
That sounds like a Tim Tucker story. I love Tim. I miss Tim every day.
I couldn't even speak. I had to walk out. That's first. I think that may be the only interview that I did not participate in. Not only I didn't want to, but I literally couldn't. I could not speak. So
you're a class act, man. I know you would have endured Tim's tough questions if you could. That's a brutal spot to put you in, though. But
what was the next
Tim
move,
was-
Pete? How did you handle it? I want to know that. Because I was just going back to what you were saying before about the ride you've been on, and last second you're catching them, and I just keep thinking about that's every event I'm fishing. I'm really fishing hard to the last second and don't catch them, and I'm like, one of these times I'm gonna, and I don't, and then I don't. So I haven't broke nothing yet, but I thought about it. So how about you, Pete? Break anything lately? Or
Have
back
I
then?
broke anything?
Yeah, well, you know, when Tim Tucker hit you with that.
Oh, when he hit me with that, dude, it was like it wasn't anger. It was like I didn't even care about Tim Tucker. I was so disappointed that I failed to make the classic, you know, because you know, when you're young career, man, everything's hinging on it. You get bonuses that pay your mortgage. You get, you know, new sponsor opportunities. There's so much great that happens to you when you make it, and so much bad that doesn't, you know? So you're like, you're staring into the abyss, you know, like, oh my God, can I do this another year? Can I bankroll this, for, you know, and try it again, you know? You know, so you're staring at it, man. So no, I wasn't in the mood to smash things. I was more in the mood to, you know, cry, you know, and that's, guys go, you know, every sport's tough, man. When you're right on the edge of that, man, it's just such a hard thing to handle, and everybody handles it differently. We know our buddy smashes stuff, and
we grew up together.
That's not me. And, but I walked out, man. He was like, I was trying to talk. I remember trying to talk and I couldn't.
Oh.
And, Tim actually gave me an out. He's like, well, we don't have to talk about this right now. And without saying a word, I just walked out, and,
you didn't get the buffet or nothing.
Nothing.
Damn.
So, anyway, it's you know, it's so awesome when you make it, and it's so valuable. It's a sport that anybody that participates in it loves it, man. They, you know, and to get to the pinnacle, to get to the classic is such an awesome thing. And especially in your young career, like I was then, you know, back in the 1700s. And, you know,
you and Woo.
We,
pre-Goby Pete.
Yeah.
By the way,
Yep.
Ken, Pete predates the Goby. We learned that a couple shows ago. Yeah.
Well, and I predate Pete, so don't give Pete a hard time. By reference, you're giving me a hard time. So take it easy, guys. The age thing.
Yeah, we are pre-Goby. The Goby, the zebras. We're going to be post-zebra people now. Ken, I don't know if you knew this or you guys knew this, but the zebras on both Champlain and Erie are disappearing, and we see carcasses of the zebra mussels everywhere, and you're not breaking off near as much. You're not hanging up on them near as much.
You ain't around them then.
The zebra.
So you were getting bites, but you weren't in zebra mussel patches during your events up there?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they're just not as prolific as they once were.
Right.
BTC, they covered everything.
Okay.
I mean, everything. It was like a blanket.
Yep.
And now they're still there, but they're sparse. They're dribs and drabs of them, especially on Champlain. There's wood pilings that you would see them covered from surface all the way to the bottom. I mean, you couldn't see a piece of wood. It was just zebras surrounding the entire thing. Now you might, you know, see a dozen mussels on a piling, you know. They claim the gobies are eating them. I don't know if that's true or not. We'll have to get Gene in here and talk to us about what's happening with the zebra mussels, but they seem to be going away.
Hey, speaking of mussels, I'm gonna right now beg you guys to do a seminar or a Bass U Live show on fishing shell beds, mussel beds. It's a huge deal here in Florida, as you know, and it's not, you know, I'm getting better at finding these beds, but you guys have some real experts that you're in touch with who can do a much better job and teach us all something about that. And I think that'd be a very popular subject.
We dove into that on our bucket list down at Lake Chickamauga. We had the DNR folks from Tennessee. from that specialize in dealing with mussels, and there's so much that we just touched it. And we had experts that are at fishing around zebras and where they freshwater mussels, and where they locate themselves, why the bass, and the bait is all around those things. There is a lot going on there. And there's a lot of mussels down in Florida. Like when we first started fishing Toho, nobody talked about mussels. And in recent tournaments, it's all about the mussel beds there too.
Yeah, and they're not. I mean, today's electronics have made it easier to find them, and the studies, the effort I've had to learn more about the mussel life cycle has helped me find them. And there are certain places I can always count on finding these shell beds. But I'd love for you guys to pick the brains of some experts on this, because that would be a great show. And you don't have to air it for all the Bass U members. You can just just send it to me is fine. That works.
We'll direct message it, Ken. We'll get you dialed in. It's interesting because I always like, they're filter feeders. Mussels are filter feeders. They're around current. They're typically in the face of the current. But many of the anglers that I talk to are fishing the backsides of shoals, places that are less current. And it's really interesting, and it's changing, and it's very dynamic about what's going on with the mussel beds. But we're on the job, Mr. Duke, and we will keep you posted.
That's a big deal for us here in Florida, especially. But really, those kind of freshwater mussels, they're all over the country.
They absolutely are. There's so many varieties too, which I didn't realize. There's hundreds and probably thousands of varieties of different mussels, and they're so important in all of our waterways. But what we're going to do is, guys, we're going to be talking about a little bit of history of Thousand Islands. We're going to be talking about a lot of really cool stuff. Get your questions together for smallmouth, largemouth, some Thousand Island stuff. Anything you guys want to talk about, we will tackle it. Right now, guys, it's getting to be fall, and if your boat's not covered, you need to get yourself an Empire cover. Use the code BASSU21. It's going to get you a massive deal, whether it's your camper, whether it's your boat, your jet ski, even guys. We want even guys that own jet skis. We want them to keep them covered. But guys, go check that out. And we've got a lot of other great stuff going on tonight. We've got a Facebook like and share. What else do we have going on tonight, Riz?
Yeah, as always, Pete, we're going to be taking questions from our Bass University TV subscribers. And those guys that we bring in questions from, we're going to give away a couple of Gills Gear gift cards tonight, $25 gift cards from our folks over there at Gills. Also, tonight, we got a grand prize going out the door that our good friends over at Aquaview are going to be hooking somebody up with an Aquaview underwater camera. A Micro 5.0 Revolution is going to be our grand prize tonight, guys. And if you want a shot at winning that, you got to be a Bass U TV subscriber. Also, tonight, we're going to be doing a Facebook like and share. So if you're watching over there on Facebook, just like and share tonight's feed, and you'll be entered in to win a $50 prize pack from all our amazing sponsors over here at Bass University TV. Guys, and right now is a great time to get signed up. If you're on the fence about joining Bass U TV, when you sign up right now, you're going to save $20 on your annual membership, and you're going to get a $25 shopping spree to Tackle Warehouse. So you're going to get the information, and we're going to hook you up with a gift card to go out and get that tackle, guys. The fall transition's coming. Get loaded up. Let's start learning at the Bass University and get that gear from Tackle Warehouse.
Awesome, Rich. So cool to talk to everybody about Bass U and how they're using it to advance their fishing at the BFLs and the Opens. Everybody is part of the program. It's great to see the hats and the logos. And thanks everybody for coming by and saying hi and letting me know that. Anybody that sees me and wants to talk Bass U, come on up. Love to hear your stories, your criticisms, your positives, negatives. come see me. Love to hear it, and appreciate all you guys being part of the program. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come right back. We're going to be talking Thousand Islands and a lot of other stuff at Bass University Live.
AquaView, the leader in underwater viewing technology. Find what you are looking for. Catch more fish. Have more fun. AquaView. Seeing is believing.
Why do you love casting fishing rods?
I'm truly losing less fish.
Is the sensitivity of the rod.
That they're made right here in North Carolina in the USA.
Strongest, lightest rod, 100% made here in Sanford, North Carolina.
From the drop shot rod to the flipping stick. Every rod has a purpose to it, and I rely on them all the time when I'm out there in a tournament.
Durability in the John Cruz Worming series, the counterbalancing in the handle.
It's the only rod I found that can withstand my hook set. Boom goes the dynamite.
We're different. Some would say obsessed. There's no place on earth we'd rather be than right here, right now. Performance-driven gear, so you can fish longer, harder. Gill's Performance Fishing.
2021 Red Crest champion Dustin Connell here, and if you watch live coverage, we just got done at Lake Eufaula. I caught my fish using the active target with Lowrance. What you didn't see is I run a Sea Clear power harness in my boat. One of the main advantages of running this harness is it does not drain my batteries down at all running my 4 units. And what that's going to allow me to do is I'm able to see my bait at 8 a.m. just as good late in the day. Y'all check them out at seaclearpower.com.
You take pride in your boat, so it deserves the best protection possible. Our durable woven fabric prevents ripping and provides UV protection, and our tape seams provide protection against the elements. The heavy-duty shock cord hem and strap and buckle system provide a tight and secure fit. Our top-of-the-line boat covers come with a ventilation system to keep your boat free from mold buildup. Empire Covers, protecting what you love.
All right. Well, hey.
Brand new Bass You Live.
Yeah. Pete, you gotta look at me to see the cues, Pete. I was double. I was
I just texted you that I can't see you.
Yeah.
You disappeared. You disappeared from view on my Zoom feed.
Yeah, I was right over here.
Well, it's good to have you back. I love the Bass U banner in the back.
I like it. I love it when it's the right one that's the right size and there's not like piece of window and a piece of wood and wood over there.
Looks good. You guys are looking sharp, dressing up the studio. I like it.
Yeah, it's a half attempt. Is it half fast or half assed? Oh, Ken, hold on. Is Ken ready? Ken would know the answer to that. Ken?
Yes, sir. What's the question? Half-assed, or what is your...
Or half fast.
Oh, well, I love some internet company did a great commercial about that. It's half-assed, but they used half fast interchangeably with it. It was very funny.
All right, yeah. I feel like that could have been the origin, but who knows?
Half
I don't know the origin, but I love the reference.
Yeah.
Sorry
Nothing
about
like an
Bo,
awkward
guys.
bring back to the second segment. Gotta love it.
Sorry about the bow situation.
Oh, don't worry about it.
You're trying to get somebody on who's in his 80s.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We were psyched for it. Bo Dowden, we had talked to him about coming on, and I thought it was great. You brought Bo to us, Ken, and I hadn't seen Bo for quite a few years, but I remember him vividly because in the early part of my career, he was still competing on tour, and it was awesome. It was great to be around him and a lot of those other super champions, and Hopefully, we'll get to talk to him at some point. But shout out to Bo. Thanks for trying to get on.
Yeah,
he really wants to do it.
Yes,
he really does.
And congratulations to your induction into the Louisiana Fishing Hall of Fame, Mr. Dowden. Tell us about that, Ken. What transpired?
I don't know. He should be in the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame, but the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame is too busy honoring mediocrities like Dave Precht and Steve Bowman.
Put him in a body bag.
I'm sorry. I think I insulted mediocrities there.
Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. Come on.
Off the top ropes.
Man. Naming names and the whole bit, Mr. Duke.
Savage.
Yeah.
I need another shot, Rich.
Oh.
Well, I'm partly joking.
I am. Yeah. Hold on. Let's get to a
come
question
on
real
now.
quick here.
I love the we promised no negativity, Ken.
I'm sorry, my bad. I'd like to apologize to everybody. That was uncalled for and unfair, and I shouldn't have done that. And I apologize.
Well,
I want a bad PR.
I appreciate that Bo should be in the Hall of Fame. He's he won the Classic on Thousand Islands, and it was as you said earlier, it put the Thousand Islands on the map when he did that.
It really did, and you know, from that tournament set the record at the time for heaviest average bass in a Classic, 2 pounds 15 ounces. It's a pretty hefty fish, you know. And that record lasted until 2014 when they went to Gunnersville. So that shows you the quality of fishery that they have at the St. Lawrence. And it's been remarkably steady through the years.
And that was a largemouth
go
bag,
to the
Ken?
St. Lawrence, especially if they stick to a 12-inch limit, you better have 5, and they better weigh 3 pounds, you know? It's just what it takes there.
4.
4.
Oh yeah, 4 if you want to win.
4 if you want to
actually
get a check and maybe make
and you know
the cut.
There was a tournament there not that long ago where you know, the winner averaged 5 pounds of fish. So it's an impressive fishery all the way around. I mean,
that just happened. I mean, the Johnsons averaged over 5 pounds of fish. 77 pounds was one. I had almost a 4 pound average. I was just under 40 pounds. I had 38.15. So I was just under 40 pounds, and I finished 42nd place. With
the weights are like astounding. Like I mean, this year Taco Ito had 90 pounds. The year before, Chris Johnson had 97 pounds. It's astounding when you think about the average size.
And when you think about the average size, like Riz is talking about here, if the average size is going to be 2 3/4 to 3 1/4 somewhere, just a couple of ounces are going to separate 20 places because everybody's catching them. They're all about the same size. And one of the things about a smallmouth tournament that's true, and I've tried to do a lot of research about this, is, you know, the big fish in a smallmouth and the big fish in a largemouth tournament is usually 3-4 times as big as the average fish. Okay. If the average fish is 2 1/4, the big fish might be 8-9 pounds. But in a smallmouth tournament, the big fish is usually barely or not even twice the average fish. So it really makes it tough to distinguish yourself and to create a spread. You don't see much spread in the smallmouth tournaments.
No, except for these boys, these Johnson brothers, man. They win with a sizable. I mean, for that, like you said, your point is a valid one. It's ounces separates everybody, but they found some kind of method to get over the hump. And after fishing there, it's just amazing that when you set the hook, they just keep coming up big. And now the last time I was there was probably 15 years ago, pre-Goby.
Pre-Goby Pete.
Pre-Goby Pete. And
PG is the way I would say it, guys. PG squared.
They weren't big. Like a 4-pounder was a perch eater, and that was huge. That was a giant. And now, my goodness, they're so footballish. Like the short ones they weigh 3 pounds 15 ounces. It's crazy how big they are, and they're everywhere. You know, they're out in the lake, they're in the river, all the way up to Messina. You know, these big giant smallmouth live and are just it should, and it's a gorgeous fishery. It's got to be one of the best fisheries on the planet.
I agree with you, man. You know, bass has been there almost 25 times through the years, making it one of the top 6 or 7 fisheries that they visit. And you don't do that unless the place is producing, producing in terms of good catches, producing in terms of good crowds, producing in terms of a good local community that really wants that kind of thing there. And Pete, when we opened the show, you referenced some of the history about the St. Lawrence, and you know, a couple of Bassmaster Classic champions made their BASS debuts there, and just there is so much history about that place, and it's interesting because, you know, guys like me who grew up in the Deep South, we think of bass fishing as a southern sport, but the St. Lawrence has as much history associated with it and its bass fishing as just about any place in the country.
Well, there's some moments that stand out to me, and let me tell you, see if you remember these. One of which I tried to reach out to him and I couldn't find him. Is my friend Rick Lilligard. His big win, where on the last day of the tournament, his partner sat in the boat and retied his rods so that Rick could catch a fish, put it in live well. He would hand Rick a new rod, catch a fish. And back when the invitationals, the pros were paired with pros, his guy sat in the boat and did that for him. And it was televised.
What year was that? Was that
97?
97. See, I tried to find that one on Lynn Dollar's YouTube channel. And he has Lynn Dollar, and he has 96 and 98, but he didn't have 97. Come on, Lynn.
You gotta find out who that is.
Well, it's interesting that he has 96 and 98 because there were no BASS tournaments on the St. Lawrence in 96 or 98. Really.
I screenshotted it.
He screenshot it.
I can't help you. Huh. Ironically, the fact that something has been screenshot does not make it true.
Yeah, this is definitely true.
Ken, how dare you?
Look, 90, 96, 98, 1996.
Well, I'm not being negative anymore. I'm non-negative Ken.
Well,
okay?
I guess it was a fake St. Lawrence River. Good
Ken.
thing I didn't pull any content from them because I would have looked really goofy.
There's a lot of places with some shaky content out there. We won't go into that because that would be more of me being negative. Yeah. And I'm not about.
Well, I remember that was an awesome show. It was awesome to see that win, and it was done with largemouth. But one of the other classic shows.
Spider jig.
It was a spider jig. That's right.
How about that?
Yeah. Yamamoto.
Was it Yamamoto? It was. Back in?
Well, it was certainly in that style. I think that's what.
I bet you it was pre-Yamamoto.
As I recall, he did not mention the brand, but it was green, brown, and orange. I'll tell you that.
97.
97.
Green, brown, and orange.
Yeah, that's.
Do you remember the Rat Bassmaster show on Thousand Islands? Ken?
I don't.
What? It was the man's rat, and before we had frogs in Lake of the Isles. Gosh, Dusty Pine on a rat, and they played that little mousy twinkly music every time the rat was coming across the mat. and them big largemouth and Lake of the Isles were coming up and smashing it. And Dusty Pine won that tournament.
That's pretty cool. Hey, while we're talking about some pretty detailed specifics, you know, you mentioned Rick Lilligard's win with the spider jig in '97. Do you recall who caught big fish of that tournament?
Oh, no.
Oh, down.
Come on.
Brower. Brower.
I'm gonna be horrified and embarrassed for all three of you guys if you don't get this.
He wasn't even born.
In '97?
Were you born?
Yeah,
Oh.
7 years old.
Oh, all right.
Come on. Who was fishing back then? It's got to be
97. The fish weighed 4 pounds, 15 ounces, and the angler's name was
Hibden.
Here's a hint. Here's a hint. It's not me, but here's a hint.
Ike.
Ike.
Really?
Whoa.
How about
Hey,
that?
kid.
Big fish in that tournament.
No kidding.
Wow.
No kid.
Ooh, Tom S. on the message board knew that, actually. Tom S. came in with Ike. How
He
about
gets
it?
a Gills gift card.
There you go.
You
Hook
know
'em
what?
up.
Yeah, you know what, Tom S. You won yourself a Gills Gear gift card for that. Just because it's Ike. Shout out to Ike, by the way, up there at St. Lawrence. He re-qualified for the Bassmaster Elites.
How
So
about that?
you know what, Tom S. for bringing in that correct answer, and in honor of Ike re-qualifying for the Elites, blue and gold, you win yourself a $25 Gills Gear gift card.
Right on.
Very nice.
Ken, you got any stats on whether Ike's going to requalify or not? I mean, or make go back or not?
Yes, 100% chance that he's going to requalify. How about that?
I need another shot.
As far as whether he'll go back or not,
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys have more contact with Mike than I do, but I hope he does. I'll say that. I'll weigh in personally and say I hope he goes back.
So do we.
Interesting.
Man's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's either back to the Elite Series or dominate the kayak world.
Well,
Well, he certainly did that down on the Chesapeake, and I don't know. I think it would be fun to see him back in competition. I know, you know, he's got the show going on, and you know, man, it's all consuming being out there on tour for 6 months. So I can certainly appreciate it if he wants to take a little time, watch the kids grow, and do some other things. But it's always fun watching them. I know he had a really difficult decision to make on the last day of that tournament, and I wish we could have filmed Mike going through that process of being, you know, it was not an easy qualification. The guys in and around him had displaced him from third place after the first day of competition by a couple points. So he had to go get it done on the last day. And man, oh man, he was, you know, was he going to go left? Was he going to go right? Was he going to swing for the bleachers? Should he lay up? How should he play it? And he played it right, and he played it just right, and he got himself qualified. So amazing decision, Mike, and congrats again.
Yep.
But that's
an amazing career. You know, nobody in my mind, at least, displaces Kevin Van Dam as the greatest competitive bass angler of all time. You know, 7 AOYs, 4 classics, 25 BASS wins, multiple wins on the MLF side. Nobody can top KVD for the accomplishments. But if you just want to look at the guys who have checked the most individual boxes, it's Iaconelli. He's won a classic. He's won an AOY. He's caught 100 pounds in a tournament. He's won well over $1 million. He's won a kayak tournament. He's won a federation tournament championship. You know, he's got TV shows. You know, and now his bait has just won overall best of show at ICAST. Nobody checks as many boxes as Mike Iaconelli.
You right about that. You're right about
It's
that.
not an easy thing to do to qualify for the elites through the opens. You know.
I think it might be the toughest thing to do in our sport right now.
Really?
You know,
Yeah.
and I think the opens have been watered down a tad because in 2018, a lot of the guys who would still be fishing the opens got invited to the elites. But But yeah, I think qualifying for the elites through the opens is one of the toughest things you can do in this sport.
Yep.
I agree. There, you got all the local sticks. You've got a lot of really high level pros, and you cannot miss. You have to get checks every event, top finishes in every event in order to even have a chance.
Yeah, you're really looking at 6 days of competition. If you make it to the final day in the top 10, that's kind of just gravy. But out of those 6 days, you can't have a bad day one or day two. You can suck on day three if you want to, it won't matter. But you can't have a bad day one or day two. You got to have 6 solid days.
Yeah, so hard to do.
So hard to do.
Speaking of solid days, how about Matt over at BTL? Our boy Pamrak just had a wonderful Thousand Islands tournament. Great story. I bumped into him just after he weighed in, and his heart was pounding out of his chest because he just had a miraculous last minute heroics event where he had 8 pounds, and all day he was about ready to bail on his area. I think he went for one more pass and he popped like 2 6-pounders and a 5-pounder, something like that, something crazy.
Yeah, 6'6".
And weighed in 20 pounds and did it all in just moments before he came and weighed those fish in. So, man, you want to talk about keeping your cool?
Yeah.
Congratulations, Matt.
Heck
yeah.
There you go, Panger.
Hell yeah.
I got to visit with Panger a little bit a couple of weeks ago in Wisconsin at a media junket. Always good to visit with Matt. And yeah, he winds up the season 11th in overall opens points. And I'm not sure exactly what that's going to translate into for him in terms of other opportunities, but I'm sure hoping he can live his dream.
Yep.
Wait a minute. 11th in that is because he fished all the opens. So of all the guys that did that, he finished 11th place.
That's correct.
So
does that get an invitation?
He needs one person to double qualify?
I'm not sure. I don't want to say that because I don't know. And I don't know if any of those guys did double qualify because naturally you got to believe somebody double qualified, but I just don't know.
Right. All right. Well, more to come.
And there's other issues too, because, you know, Riz, if a guy who gets invited to the elites, well, I don't know. You hate to think that he might be the bubble boy and there's no way in, but that might be the situation. I just don't know.
I was actually going to have ask Matt to come on tonight until you came up with that idea, Ken. So just wanted to bring that up.
The idea that didn't work out.
Yeah, the one that didn't work out. That's a little trivia I just want to throw in there. Fun fact. Wow.
Thank you, BTC.
You got it, buddy.
Well, so fun to see Matt thrilled and what a great job. Hope you get in, man. I really do.
Same here.
Great effort. You know, coming up way far away from home, fishing all these bodies of water and getting it done at the last minute, man. Really, really cool.
Yeah.
But do you remember when Thousand Islands changed from a largemouth fishery to a smallmouth fishery, Ken? Do you know that? Do you have any data on that? Like, because it was largemouth, right, for the first several.
Well, there's always been a big smallmouth element there, but obviously it's pretty much all that now, more or less. You know, there's what I like to call the spotification of America, because I think that it's really spotted bass that are kind of taken over. In talking with biologists, you know, they tell me that as fertility of our waters decreases and as the waters age and clear, that spotted bass are kind of filling that void. But at least at Thousand Islands, you know, that kind of thing, and we're dealing with a natural body of water there, so it's not playing by the same rules. But yeah, it's been a different transition there. And keep in mind that even though there were a lot of largemouth caught back in the day there. A big fish on the St. Lawrence in the early days would have been a largemouth. Like, for example, the first time bass ever went to the St. Lawrence, big fish in that tournament was 7 pounds, 10 ounces.
Wow.
And nowadays, big fish at that tournament is
6 pounds.
Andrew Upshaw caught a 613. So those numbers are catching up, but we still see the lower numbers because the bigger fish now are the smallmouth.
Yep. And you're getting tapped out there a little bit.
I wish the organizations kept up with things like how many largemouth, how many smallmouth, but they just don't. And it's a shame. A lot of great data has escaped us because the organizations don't look at themselves as a record-keeping entity.
Well, we tried to keep, like, when I did research for my first tournament on Thousand Islands, I read about largemouth, and I targeted largemouth, and largemouth couldn't touch the winner with smallmouth. So it was so far behind the times. But now with the internet, everything's so fast. We're getting so much more data that's accurate. It's super interesting. But back then, I thought I was going to try to win with largemouth. I couldn't have been further from the truth.
We are getting more data because of the internet, Pete, but we're not getting any more data out of the big tournament organizations because they're continuing in their old system. Now, my hope is that MLF is that difference maker, and I think they will be, because they have so many more data points. They have so many more fish catches being recorded and so forth. So my hope is, and they're also working very closely with a lot of different conservation organizations and biologist groups. So my hope is that those guys are really going to stay on top of it and offer us the kind of data that Bass U members and fans have always wanted, but never really had access to.
Well, that's a tremendous amount of data. I don't know how to consume it all. I mean, it's every day, just so many fish being caught, but it'll be fascinating if they can get their arms wrapped around that and give us some interesting data like that. Like, for instance, Lake St. Clair, we watched Wesley Strader yesterday dominate his group with largemouth on Lake St. Clair and Lake Erie. It was really, really cool. And I super enjoyed watching that, by the way. We're so used to watching Lake St. Clair being won with a drop shot or whatever it may be, to watch Wesley punching, or I don't know, Texas rigging, whatever he was doing, to exploit the largemouth that are just untapped over there. They work for the MLS. It's really cool.
Yeah, we've seen guys go into smallmouth fisheries and win by going after largemouth, whether it's Tommy Biffle throwing a frog or Denny Brower getting in the thick stuff and flipping and punching. But on some bodies of water in the St. Lawrence, probably one of them, you got to catch the big smallmouth if you're going to have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
At least right now.
Well, there's bets
Pete,
on what I used to win or what I used to catch all my fish. It was not a black Senko.
What?
I caught almost 20 pounds a day.
You're not able to find any black Senkos?
Not on a black Senko, but a black little general.
So the other Senko.
Yeah.
The other Senko. So we were Ned rigging up there at Thousand Islands this year, and
was it 3-inch, Pete? 4-inch? What size?
I don't know. Whatever size this is. What's it say? 2.75.
Oh.
Ooh.
7 centimeters.
How heavy a head, Pete, on the jig?
Half ounce.
Half ounce.
Yeah. Half ounce Ned head.
On a spinning outfit?
On a spinning outfit. Yep. I went with a 12-pound test fluorocarbon leader, which kind of flies in the face of, really not. It's not really a finesse fishing rig at all.
What rod,
but
Pete?
What's that?
What rod?
It was a Cashin 7.5 foot medium action, 7.5 feet neat, and I always like the longer spinning rods when I'm up there, just be able to keep pressure on those big smallmouth.
So 7.6?
7.6 medium.
Okay.
Pete, since you're throwing, you got a 12-pound leader, you got a half-ounce lead head there. At what point would you have switched over to a casting outfit?
Yeah, Pete.
I honestly, I like a spinning outfit because I can move more line faster. I really can. When use a size 4,000. It's got a big spool and it's got a big reel handle, and I can.
It's be a saltwater reel, Pete. Come on.
It very much so. But you can pick it up. You can pick up that line and get pressure on those fish. And
drag
I would
too,
need,
right?
Of course you could use a rocket, like a 10-to-1 bait casting reel. But there's I don't know. I just, with a spinning rod, what else does it do that's really cool? The
4,000
casting is
using a
easy. A
pen?
lot of times you're bomb casting. What was that, Ken?
I'm sorry, I said a 4,000. Are you using a pen spinning reel?
Yes.
It's,
Get 'em,
if
Ken.
you ever seen the show Wicked Tuna, it's actually one of theirs.
Wicked Smallmouth with Captain.
Wicked dude.
Yeah, he borrowed it from HV Tuna or whatever that guy's name is.
Yeah, you guys want to sissify fishing for smallmouth, you guys go ahead and do it, but I'm powering up, man.
That's good.
Right on.
Pete,
What was your main line?
Yeah.
My main line was 10-pound test gamma torque, and I had a 12-pound test gamma edge leader. So I was I powered up. One of my biggest problems early on in my event, which cost me dearly, is the Ned rig is new to me. Like these are the first fish I've ever caught with it, and the big smallmouth is really difficult to keep them buttoned up. And you guys that fish up there, they have such strong jaws. And Scott Dobson talked about it when he was with us and Bass You Live, I guess the last time we were, or 2 weeks ago or whatever, but talked about the strength of their jaws, and I couldn't agree more. They grab it and they hold it, and then when they decide to release, it's just gone, and there's no moving that hook inside their mouth of a big strong fish like that. So when I was rigged I had 8-pound braid with 8-pound leader, I could not get the penetration. I was losing the big ones. What a cool setup. You only lose the big ones.
Good point.
I'm personally hurt that these are really your first Ned rig fish after having Ned Katie on this show more than a year ago.
I know.
Fabulous guest. And it took you more than a year.
Yes.
To go out there. And by the way, the 4,000 size spinning reel does not have anything to do with finesse fishing at all.
Well, actually, Ken, that's moving very fast for me to adopt a technique in a year.
It is actually. This is post-COVID Pete moves a lot faster than pre-COVID Pete.
How are you handling these fish, Pete? And what I mean by that is, like, how are you managing them once you hook them? And I ask because I've noticed that specifically with the Johnston brothers, these guys, they don't mess around a ton when they hook these big smallmouth on the St. Lawrence River. Like, they set the hook, they wind, they get them to the boat, and they belly them in the boat. Like, it's a quick thing every time. Were you backing down on the drag and letting the fish fight, or were you trying to, like, bully the fish once you went up to that bigger, that bigger setup with the 12-pound test? How were you, like, when you started to adjust to get the bigger ones in, what was that adjustment that you needed to make?
I was flipping 3.5-pounders in the boat. Oh. I was boat flipping them. But the bigger fish, I'm more like the Johnston brothers. Like, with 12-pound leader, I could afford to put some pressure on the fish. But at the same time, you got to have that balance. You can't put too much pressure on them because they come to the boat hot.
Right.
And they're absolutely, acrobatic. And, so you've got to play them to the appropriate amount, whatever that is. Every fish is different. But I can tell you this, I was not, taking an extended period of time. I'd put the Minn Kota on spot lock and let it do the work of holding the boat in place. And I had system where, depending on what side of the boat I was on, I'd either sit down in the driver's seat or I would kneel down at the in front of the passenger seat, and I could belly land the fish much. I like doing it on the passenger seat way better. I was way more successful, and I could do it way faster if I could kneel down, get my center of gravity really, really low, and I could belly those fish really, really much quicker that way. So, right. But I never lost any at the boat. All the ones I lost were, like I said, because I had light line, I couldn't get hook penetration. Those fish would come up and throw it, and they would always let you see them too, just to add a little insult to injury. You know what I mean? It would be nice if they were down deep and you would I don't really know if that was big or little. No, these big ones would come up, they would shark right across the surface. You would see that they were monsters, open their mouth, and they were gone. So crazy,
Pete,
crazy stuff.
You done with that? All right, so back to that 400 reel, Pete, or 4,000? 4,000, yeah. Were you doing a lot of vertical dropping?
I was.
Okay, because the spinning rod's way better than the casting rod for that.
The great point, Brian, because that's, you'd see the noodles on, and I was using just Humminbird 2D a lot for these, and you would come over those big ones and you just see that lasagna noodle right on the bottom, and a lot of times you'd see that noodle stuck to the bottom, which meant they were like, you could see the slight separation between the bottom and whatever was there, and you got to recognize that these were the big ones. And I would drop right on them with that little General, that power, that max scent, man. They had a hard time resisting it, and that the 4,000 was really good at that, at being able to drop, and a less line twist with the big spool, and and then when you get home, you can take it out tuna fish. There
you go. So I just fished I fished the Durb on Saturday, and I was fishing some trees that submerged trees that go from the bank out to 40, 50 feet, right? It's to flip vertical trees that are that deep. I mean, you with a flipping rod, you cast and you're peeling line like this as you're trying to get the speed of the bait, without it being slowed down by your spool. So I was thinking a heavy spinning rod would be far better. Heavy line, right. Heavy rod, stout rod, just get that thing to fall straight down.
Brian needs a 4,000 series spinning reel on that place just because of the line capacity.
Yes, that too.
You can't reach the bottom with a 2,000. There's not enough line on it.
Yeah.
You got to use these big spools down there in Florida, Mr. Duke.
Yeah, but that's way too close to salt. When I taste salt, I know I've gone the wrong direction. I turn around.
I like salt.
I like salt too, but on food. I'm talking about the beach.
Pretzels. I'm a pretzel guy.
Come on. You're not a saltwater guy, Ken? You don't go do that sometimes?
I do that sometimes. The difference for me is when I go bass fishing, I feel like I'm totally an active participant. I have my own ideas about where I'm going to find them, what baits to throw, how to do it, stuff like that. If I get on a saltwater boat somewhere, I'm just luggage. I'm just going to do exactly what the captain tells me to do because I don't really know anything. I don't know enough.
Yeah. I like saltwater fishing, but I'm like you, I'm a bass guy, but I enjoy it all. And those 4,000 reels, they do look like saltwater reels, man. They look kind of awkward and out of place, but I've got piles of them, and everybody makes, not just Penn.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask you, was that the Penn Slammer 3 or 4? Or which slammer was that?
Did you set it to bait runner at any point?
It's easier for these big Polish fingers to get around the drag too.
Did you wear one of those belts where you put the rod handle in?
A fighting belt?
Yeah.
Dude, we're all going to figure out.
Pete, I can see you on the front deck.
No, he's on the back deck. He's on the back deck with that
spot lock and the big rolling waves of the St. Lawrence. Just leaned into that lean pole with the fighting belt on. That's awesome.
Oh God.
Pump it up, reel down. Yeah. Pump up, reel down.
Co-angler like patting your brow.
A serious point about the smallmouth thing here, and you know the pumping. I caught a lot more smallmouth when I learned that that I've got to set the hook and be cranking at the same moment with smallmouth, because if those guys get any slack at all, they're coming off. Maybe it's because of the strength of the jaws or whatever. Maybe it's because they are ultimately so acrobatic that they're going to throw it. But float and fly fishing for smallmouth, anything with a single hook, I've learned that I've got to set and be on that reel immediately. Yeah. And to Brian's point about the Johnstons not wasting any time, that's the only way I've ever been able to put smallmouth in the boat, is to take that same approach.
Yep. You can't let pressure off. I see guys doing it all the time. They lower that rod or whatever it is, but you're right. You got to set, you got to pressure, and that's where that rod comes in, or that reel comes in. It just keeps that rod bent and keeps them pinned.
Cue the clip from when the Ike and the MLF were on, the BPT were on St. Clair, and the JT and Marty were talking about Ike and Justin Lucas. How come their fish don't jump? They're the only guys whose fish don't jump, because they set the hook and they back off, and they don't put pressure on them. So
who does that?
Ike.
Ike doesn't put pressure on?
Ike and Justin Lucas. I remember them going on about that. Like, a lot of guys were struggling with getting losing them, getting thrown, tossed.
Yeah.
So I just want to throw that out there and break up your party. Everybody's all talk
power. Crank it in.
Yeah, that's right, guys. Let's horse it in. Bass University. Heavy line, big rods. Let's go.
I like that. That sounds good.
Yep.
Let's do this.
You know who else really jacks them is Jacob Wheeler. Like, he does not play around, man. Same, just cranks them in. So
yeah, but
I don't.
Why does he have a right-hand retrieve spinning reel when he also casts right-handed? What's up with that? Y'all have seen that, right?
No, but
I haven't taken notice.
He casts right-handed, and then he changes the rod over to the left hand and cranks right-handed. Who does that? There are a couple of young guys who do it. Wow. But I'm trying not to get negative here.
Well, he inspires a whole new group of people.
Yeah.
Oh, if Wheeler does it, I'm going to try it probably. But
Travis Manson casts a spinning rod with two hands like it's fly fishing.
He basically throws his bait.
Hey, it's ridiculous.
That's the thing they always, advocate about a spinning outfit, is you never have to take it out of your casting hand.
Right.
But Wheeler does. I don't understand why.
It's weird.
It's a great time to take a commercial break. That's what I'm thinking.
Excellent. That was my segue, BTC. I'm smooth like that.
Yeah,
yo. It is, BTC. Let's do it. Let's take a quick commercial break. We're going to be back with Kolo talking about Guinness Book World Records.
That's right.
24 hours of fish catches. I cannot wait to hear how this went down. So we'll be back right after this.
Moment on the water not spent fishing is a moment wasted. That's why Minn Kota and Humminbird have joined forces to bring you the One Boat Network. Products that communicate and integrate to help you take full command of your boat. Born from our commitment to making the most advanced fishing gear even better by making it work together. The One Boat Network will help you find, get to, stay on, and catch more fish. When One Boat Network products talk to each other, they can navigate your boat automatically, They can give you a crystal clear view of what's below with no messy wires. And they can let you lower, raise, and change shallow water anchor modes from anywhere on the boat. But that's just the beginning. We're never done innovating, integrating, and making your boat simpler and easier to control. All so you can make every second on the water count.
Tackle Warehouse is proud to sponsor the FLW Pro Circuit and is the official tackle retailer of FLW, providing proven bass fishing gear as well as the newest and hottest tackle. Our friendly and knowledgeable customer service staff can help you every step of the way. And we offer free ground shipping on orders over $50. Tackle Warehouse. Everything for the bass angler at the lowest prices. Guaranteed.
I have to be constantly on the lookout for new techniques to stay on the top of my game.
Giant.
Some have been more successful than others.
Giant.
The finesse fingernail.
Happens every time.
The chain gang.
Broke it off.
The crow's nest.
Never let go.
And don't even get me started on tackle management, especially trying to stop rust and corrosion. Peanut butter.
I could.
Motor oil.
Gotta keep the rust off all these baits.
WD-40.
Gotta keep the rust off.
Silica, toothpicks, Q-tips, the list goes on and on. I'm hard on tackle, I fish fast, I need my tackle organized and protected. I can't be worrying about losing baits to rust. And when it comes to tackle management, there's only one solution. Flambeau Tackle Storage Systems with Z-Rust technology. The original anti-rust tackle box. Uncompromised clarity. Renowned durability. The infused anti-rust option that is FDA safe and free of harmful chemicals. The organization options are endless, but there's only one. One box, one anti-corrosion technology, one family-owned, American-made brand, Flambeau Z-Rust Tackle Solutions. Preserve, perform, repeat.
Coming back to you, and we're live.
Is this Dolby stereo?
Well, welcome back, everybody, to Bass University Live. It was great revisiting all the great Thousand Island stories and seeing all that and talking about all that stuff. And had no idea Ike caught lunker in that first tournament. That was a great stat, Ken. But we're gonna take a turn, and we got our good friend on the show, Kolo. We all know him from Minn Kota Humminbird, and he is you just broke another record, man. And then I'm so psyched. I look forward to hearing all about it. Kolo, it's great to have you on the show tonight.
Hey, I've got an echo here. I'm gonna have to work this out. Stand by.
You sound good. You sound good on this end.
Yeah, you sound
Okay,
clear.
good.
Come through.
Sound buttery smooth.
Smooth, Kolo.
Smooth like butter.
Hang on 1 second. I think I know what that is. Sorry, fellas.
Look at this jersey that you're wearing there, Kolo.
I like it.
Seriously,
About that.
This is a great background for a live show.
Yeah, Kolo's.
Oh, the show is live right now.
I do, and I'm having a little AV troubles with the late Zoom link here.
Just checking. Because I got negative earlier when I didn't really realize we were live.
Oh.
It snuck up
That's
on
special.
me, and I went on another diatribe about the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame.
Yes, you did.
And I named names this time.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was
Probably going
bloody.
to hear about it.
Yeah, it was
You
Yep.
did name names.
As though I care.
Yeah.
There is a lag in the audio here, guys.
We're going to send out damage control letters first thing in the morning, Ken. Thank you.
The lag, Jeff, the lag is just that I'm a Southerner and I speak slowly.
Well, you have all your audio turned off everywhere, Jeff?
Yeah, because I just got the as though I care part again.
Oh, we got double audio.
It has been the highlight of the show
it?
so far. So it's good that you're getting the repeat.
You're nice and clean for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hearing everything that we say 15 seconds later too.
You don't have it also on YouTube, do you?
I killed those.
Nope.
Yeah. Phones off, everything.
Go maybe go back out and come back in, buddy. You want to try that?
What's that?
Try going out and coming back in.
Yeah, walk back outside.
I will.
Yep.
I'll be right back. Right after these messages.
Jeff
right
Kolodzinski, everybody.
All right.
Man, Kolo.
Man, I can't imagine.
A hero. There's a guy who should be in the Bassmaster Hall of Fame.
We got you loud and clear, Jeff.
Oh, this is so good. Thank you, everybody out there, for bearing through that. Thank you.
Kolo is a
Nothing
guy
like a live show.
Yeah, right?
Kolo is a guy who should be in the IGFA Hall of Fame, in the National Freshwater Fishing Hall of Fame, in the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. You name it, he should be there.
Instead of who?
As a patron, I would pay admission to get into all those. Yes, you are correct.
I could easily find 20 guys who don't deserve to be in any one of those things and make plenty of room for Kolo.
As the janitor. Well, you know what? Here's what I'm going to say. I got 4 of my buddies, and this is one of the coolest things on a Tuesday night to sit down, talk fishing with the guys I love. Last time we got to hang was at the Classic in June.
Yeah.
So we've been away for a little bit.
Well,
much has happened.
Much has happened. Much has happened. You're the marathon man.
Wow. What a weekend. I still don't have a voice from it. And there's no rest either. So I got back Sunday night, unpacked, and went to an all-day meeting yesterday and a bunch of stuff today. But I will tell you what, it was worth every minute. So for the people who are normal in the audience and have a schedule and don't watch this thing, I fished for 24 hours straight. No breaks, no lunches, no nothing. And awesome. the purpose of that was to raise some funds for 2 charities. One, Fishing for Life's Next Gen program, and they find mentors for kids for military families. And so sometimes when people go off to protect our nation, everything's okay, and they come home and it's all good. And sometimes they don't come home. And this group finds mentors for their kids, and they teach them how to hunt, how to fish. They teach them algebra, and they really just kind of walk through your life every month. It's kind of like a Big Brothers Big Sisters program. Been near and dear to my heart also. And then we helped out some local first responders, which was the Spring Bay Fire Department. They operate a 15-mile stretch on the Illinois River, and they needed a fire boat. So chose those 2 groups because this last weekend was a special sort of remembrance. It was 20 years ago that the events of 9/11 unfolded. And, fellas, I made a video out there. It's on marathonmanfishing.com on my website. I still have a bumper sticker on the toolbox over there that says, "We will remember, we'll never forget."
Yep.
And I kind of felt bad over these years, it comes in my mind, but am I doing enough to honor what really, truly brave people did, right? Am I doing enough? And I was just overcome by a wave of conviction. I was like, I don't think I'm measuring up. I don't think I'm doing it. And then I could wait for somebody in the legislative branch or somebody else to do it. And I was like, get off your butt, go do something. And so designed a number of years ago this 24-hour fishing marathon to help people out. And this year was a pretty special year to lift people up in that marathon. It was really good.
It was really good, and it's great. It's great cause. Man, it's awesome that you're doing this, and for such a great cause. I watched the 60 Minutes piece on the New York Fire Department and the sacrifices that those guys made 20 years ago. It was just phenomenal. Just an amazing piece. And it's odd because the Kolo is, 20 years ago, I just came back from Thousand Islands. 20 years ago, I was at Thousand Islands.
Wow.
When all this went down, and I remember I couldn't get home. They had New Jersey closed. Everything, yeah, everything was closed and crazy. So it's an amazing thing that you're doing. And if people want to, support the cause, what can they do?
You can find out more about it, about me, and the reason why I'm insane and sit on a bank and fish for 24 hours. Go to marathonmanfishing.com. And, actually, if you feel compelled, we're still accepting donations this week. So you can click on a button to learn more, find a photo gallery, whatever that would be, or even donate to Fishing for Life's Next Gen program. But, I wanted to make sure that, especially our military members this time, really remembered that they knew that we appreciated them. And, elephant in the room, fellas, I don't think I'm going to offend anybody here. It's been pretty tough for our military members last few months. Let's just say that. I'll leave it there, right? And the executive director of Fishing for Life had the God-given vision in Afghanistan when he's serving. When you come home, go minister my people, go take them fishing, go help people in language of fishing. That was for Tom Goodrich. He came back and he did that. And so a number of people had served in Afghanistan. And I know from Tom and the people that he keeps in touch with that he's been keeping in touch extra closely lately with some guys who are really having trouble. We'll just say that. And I said, you know what? I want these people to know that their service mattered and that they matter. It's yesterday and today and even tomorrow. And there are people that are serving, still striving, and it's tough. And I thought, well, I can tell them, I can write them a card. And I thought, well, let's do something kinetic. Let's do something in real life. Let's have a fish-a-thon. And not only let's just do something, but let it have some staying power. Let's raise some resources for their families, and especially for the families that are hurting and that need some help. And so that was the whole MO behind the thing. And I fished for 24 hours on Friday, wound up on, that was September 10th, wound up on Saturday, September 11th. And the goal there. So I don't have a lot of gifts, right? I can catch fish. I can't sing a national anthem. I can't make a statue. I got nothing there, right? So, but I can fish. And I just decided to leverage those talents in a way that would bless his people, right? So was able to meet the mission. And the mission was to fish for 24 hours straight. And the goal within that was to catch 2,977 fish, one for each person who lost a loved one on that day, right? And listen, let me say this, and I should have said this, I meant to when you started out. I wish I could do something that was so big that I could move the hearts or the families of everyone who lost somebody in 9/11. I'm just a guy, right? So what I did was I focused in on something I could do and make an effect in the local community. One, regionally with the first responders there in Peoria, Illinois. And then, there with also with Fishing for Life's Next Gen program. And maybe someday, God will, and I hope he is, I can do something big enough to make an impact for all those people. But I'm not going to do nothing. And I told the people in the bank, if you watched it live, I'm not going to sit and do nothing. If what I do is small, so be it. We'll make it bigger next year and bigger next year, and we'll have a bigger impact. As it was, I think, our goal is to raise $100,000 to fully fund these two programs. And out of that, Fishing for Life, they're going to run like 5 to 7 kids camps where you've got 20 kids in from families all over, and they take them fishing and they find mentors, and it's awesome. So, we will probably crest out at about $60,000, and we'll keep pushing. But every year, the local community gets more and more behind it there at San Codia Lakes. It's pretty awesome.
Well, how did you do? Like now I didn't get to see the results. I've been fishing.
Okay.
And I hadn't been fishing for 24 hours. But when we talked to you at the classic, when we talked to you at the classic, you were you set your goal, and how to finish up.
Mission accomplished, sir.
Yeah.
The goal was,
Right on.
You know what? And I'll tell you, because that was in some fishing magazines. I think In Fish ran that earlier in the spring. Fishing Tackle Retailer, the Duke, the great one, ran a piece on that. And It was out there, and there was no going back. Once you say something like that, you got to put up or shut up. And so I was a little nervous because, it was an ostentatious goal. It was a big one. Why set a goal if you're not going to make it big anyway? Let's be real. But I sat there on the bank and I looked at the water that day and I was like, oh, dang, if you're going to fail, you should do it where there's an editing studio involved. A nice 13, episode fishing show. You can cut all that stuff out. But this is broadcast live on Facebook Live. And by grace of God, I was able to catch 2,997 fish to honor everyone that lost a loved one there. And I'll get to the total here in a minute. That's kind of that's a tease. And I got to that point and so I'm looking at the bank, and the bank is kind of, steep like this. And there's just people from here to here. And I said, hey, this is a pretty solemn moment. I know everybody wants to cheer, and I'm going to feel a big sense of relief when I catch this last fish. But here's how we're going to handle this. We're going to take a minute of silence when I do. So do me a favor, take your hat off and get ready. And caught the last fish, and then turned around and invited everybody for a minute of silence, which is a long time when you look at your watch, right? So had a minute of silence, thanked everybody. And then I realized that there were still 2 hours left. And so I had to call an immediate audible on live, like, okay, what do you do? Do I hang it up or do I not? And I thought to myself, you know what? That's pretty sissy. The goal is to fish 24 hours and to meet this mark. We met the mark. So we met half of the goal, right? And then I realized I can't quit.
You got to go the other two.
It was. And you know what else? Because here's the thing. When those firefighters went back in that building, they didn't quit. And there wasn't stopping them. They knew it was going down. They knew what was happening.
Didn't even question their orders. They
never slowed down. Never slowed down. And I thought, well, you know what? If my heart was to honor them, we're going to finish our mission. So finished the last 2 hours and was able to catch 3,168 fish in 24 hours.
Wow.
Listen, dude, the day that faith in God became real to me, number one day in my life, right? Married to my wife, number 2, oldest daughter, number 3, youngest daughter, number 4. 5th best day in my life was last Saturday. So we invited a bunch of first responders come in, and they had an EMT truck, a fire engine, and then like a converted like F-250 kind of, emergency off-road vehicle. They came in lights and sirens, and it was awesome. And they came back and they kind of parked behind me. And then 5-10 minutes later, I hear in the distance another set of sirens. And I said, okay, that's cool. Another truck is coming. Well, as it got closer, there was another truck coming, a great big giant red fire engine. And then it came, and then came 2 more emergency vehicles. And then the fire chief vehicle came, and then more paramedics came, and it was a convoy. And fellas, they came in with lights and sirens and pumper hoses going. And I looked at the camera in live, and I looked dumber than usual. My jaw was somewhere around my ankles. And I don't know if I kept it together. I don't know how I did. But it was just the most stunning, emotional thing I've ever witnessed. And it was like if you were in a car accident and they were coming for you. Like I was the dude on the dock. That's why they were coming. And it moved me like I can't even describe. And I thought, you know what? I'm here for them. And they're celebrating all lit up coming to here. And I turned around, fellas, and looked at the bank. And hundreds of people were weeping. Grown, battle-hardened men that have served, took their hats off, turned around to walk and compose themselves. It was that kind of moving. And so when I set out, I was never sure of anything that I was supposed to do more than this one. Mission accomplished, sir. Those people knew that somebody cared, and we did something about it. So thank you guys for spreading the word. It was an amazing weekend. And here's the problem. The whole local community, everybody's like, okay, now you got to do this again next year. And I'm looking at the numbers going, we're past silly, we're into stupid, we're outrageous. I don't know what's next. But it has been really good. And here's what I know. I know that there are dozens of people's lives, especially young people, their lives are going to be changed. They're going to find people to walk them through life. And I fished a little bit. Like that's what I have. And so I was happy to kind of throw that in the mix and have God multiply it to some pretty cool stuff. It was awesome. Except for one thing. You see that this is a family show, so I'm gonna tap this finger right here. Just this one. So for everybody at home, I can't do this on 5-pound smallies like in Door County, which is north of me a little bit. I would love it if I could catch a few thousand of those. My arm would totally fall off. They're panfish, they're bluegills, but they have great, terrible dorsal spines, right? And so on this finger pad, I counted 36 holes.
Nice.
On this one, it had 23, and this one had 18.
Pain
so
good.
I am literally a human pin cushion by the time it's done. Hand is still swollen.
Yeah.
There's no place I'd rather be and nothing else I'd rather do, though. Now, that's a special kind of crazy.
that is. Yeah. Weren't you wearing a special glove?
I did, and I cut the fingers off so I could unhook stuff. And so that's the part that's exposed. I'm gonna have like, I don't know, an arm transplant when I'm done with this, and probably a spinal and a butt transplant too, because that would be really handy. Sitting around for that time, but it was really great, guys. The people on the bank. There's a little girl named Layton, and she went and sold lemonade. So this is how it changed lives in the community. Here's a 9-year-old girl that says, "Hey, I want to do something." She has a lemonade stand, right? And I'm looking at this little girl, as adorable as she could be. She made like $180 selling lemonade and donated all of the money
so awesome
to the whole charity.
That's awesome.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
By the way, folks, the marathonmanfishing.com page is still working, still taking donations. I just made another. I hope y'all will. It goes to a great cause.
Yeah.
It's absolutely something you need to participate in. Jeff gives of his time, his energy, everything to make all this happen. It goes to a well-deserving cause. So marathonmanfishing.com, please.
Thank you.
Please.
Thank you.
People watching at Bass U TV are moved, obviously, and are going to donate and participate. But they want to know, how you catching 3,000 fish in 24 hours? What are you using a 4,000 reel?
Black Senko, right?
No, because it's too big, like saltwater. I was listening to you guys earlier. No, actually, that's a great question on the tackle part of it. Wow, I didn't count on a prop, but it happens to be right here. Yeah, it's just a pole, like how everybody grows up fishing. This is a Mr. Crappie pole. It costs like, I think the real price for a 9-footer is $12.99. I use a little float again. Didn't know, but we're gonna do a little prop action here. Here's the float, right? It's a Phil gold medal float. So I balanced this. I had enough lead split shot so that only that little orange tip is above the water. And so I can see any kind of little bite. If the bluegill breathes on it, this thing moves, it goes down, it goes up. 10 feet of line, fluorocarbon, Suffix. You guys may use Suffix. You may use Seagar, whatever else it is, and a VMC hook. That's the one thing too that has just been a standard for me all my career. And live bait, grubs, spikes, Eurolarva. Since we're old friends, we can just call them what they are. They're maggots. My gosh, the fish love it. And I've caught walleyes, pike, bass, crappies, bluegills, carp, catfish, trout. 9 species on that dumb little live bait, but that's what it is. And here's the deal. I do that on tackle that costs like less than $25. And so the whole point of that, and I do it from the bank, how most people start fishing. And I just want to encourage people, you can go out for not that much money, catch an extraordinary amount of fish, not as much as some nutcase, right? Because he's just weird. But you can catch 50, 30, 100 fish, whatever else it is, on simple tackle. And then from that point, then you can go buy whatever lure you want, whatever swim bait, whatever topwater, whatever worm. I was hearing you talking about Senkos. You can take fishing in whatever direction you want. And that's what I love about the sport, because I don't have to be an athlete. Look at me. I am not an athlete. So, and I don't have to be 7 feet. I don't have to dunk. I don't even have to be intelligent, clearly. All I have to do is go and fish. And so that's what I love about the sport. It doesn't matter my background, what I look like, where I came from, how I talk, if I can read or not. You can have a great time in the sport of fishing.
Well, 3,000 is a lot. And I remember when we were talking at the Classic, you said some things that were pretty interesting to me. Like the nighttime fishing. What is that like? Like, I thought the bite would intensify, and that's not the case.
It does when you're fishing for predators. When you're fishing for prey, those guys know they're on the menu and they get scarce. So when bluegills and panfish typically feed in the middle part of the water column, indicating, yep, I'm looking for food, I'm looking for insects, minnows, whatever else, they're good. They're vibing, everything's great with them. But you turn out the lights and they know the big toothy things and the things with great big mouths, even small mouths, are looking for them for a meal, a little midnight snack. So those panfish typically sink to the bottom, find weeds, and try to hunker down through the night. And they're just not swimming around. And so the night has always been the slowest time. And that is kind of the rate determining step. If you remember chemistry, like that's the thing that holds up the whole equation. So however good I do at night is a make or break for the day. Day is showtime. Everything is great, but the night may not be so good. And this year the fish fed and it was amazing. One of the things that is unique about fishing for panfish is, and believe me, I fish for smallies and largemouth and all kinds of species. But in terms of the bluegills, if I take a couple of those little grubs and I throw them out in the water and a bluegill swims over and eats that, all the bluegills, his buddies that were behind him, are like, hey, Fred just had lunch. Let me check out what Fred's got and maybe I'll get lunch too. And so they follow Fred over there. And then I feed him with another little maggot. And then I have one on the hook. And being the terrible guy I am, that's what Isaac Walton called angling, right? So being the terrible guy I am, I put a hook in him, a VMC, and I land him. Now, before you call me a terrible guy, just hold on. It's a size 7 hook, and it's a tiny little thing, and it's barbless. I do that for 2 reasons. One, I'm going to catch 1,000 fish. I don't want to be hooking fish deep, and I do care about the resource. And number 2, every year I hook myself about 6 times. So there's nothing really, it's like being on, on live TV and you got an X-Wrap or something stuck in your leg. It's not very becoming, but, I can pull it out pretty quickly that way.
It makes for good TV though, when you get hooked with the X-Wrap. How are you using Mega Live and 360 to catch all these fish?
I was not. We thought about putting that on the dock, and I was just like, it's just one more thing to think about or to do.
He'd have caught 6,000 if he'd have had Mega Live. That would
see. Yeah.
6,000.
Yeah.
And if you know Jeff as well as I know Jeff, he can't count that high.
No, I take off my shoes when I get to 8.
There's no point in blowing the doors off this thing.
No. It would have been fun with Mega Live. In fact, the whole, lake would have been alive because there were a lot of fish. There was a smaller lake. And this place, San Cody Lakes, is really, really cool. I mean, you can book some awesome tents. They've got a couple of lakes on there, and it's a managed fishery, right? It's not a natural fishery. But they've got rainbow trout, smallmouth, largemouth, a few pike, a few muskies, and all kinds of panfish. And it is just and a 3/4 mile trout stream out of what was dry land. They built it like out of nothing. So what did I do last year when I fished for 24 hours? I got done, cleaned up all my tackle, ate a big chicken salad and a dozen wings, and went back out and went fishing.
Nice.
I did. Come on. I didn't even go to sleep. I went fishing.
Is it hard to wind down when the clock hits the 24
Actually, no. The funny thing is, so hats off folks at Black Rifle Coffee Company, because I can tell you what, I would have fallen in the water face first and y'all would have picked me up about 3 weeks later floating somewhere, because without some caffeine, even as much energy as I have, I was not getting through that. So, that gets me through. But when I'm done, Ken, dude, I'm tapped out. I am out. Now, typically, when we start this in the morning, and fish 24 hours to the next morning, which means you're up about 30 hours. This year, we did something special in the end. We started at night, went 24 hours to the night. And then so that meant I was up for like 40 hours or 40 something hours. I was ready for bed. You were going to say something. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that at the Bassmaster Classic this year, I think you got introduced to that Black Rifle coffee in a can.
That's what did it.
And exactly. I have seen Kolo normal, and that's pretty wired. And now I've seen Kolo on the Black Rifle stuff. That's just flat dangerous.
And it's legal and it's moral. I mean, it's delicious too. So I'll tell you.
Oh my God, it's so good. Yeah. Yeah, it's really, really good.
Yeah.
So,
and you know what? They've got a big push and they're really behind our veterans and first responders. As a matter of fact, the coffee flavor I drank was called Thin Blue Line. How do you not like that?
That's perfect.
Seriously.
That's perfect. That's
yeah.
Perfect.
Now, was able to stay awake the whole time.
What a lot of folks in the audience may not realize is that, yeah, Kolo's gone out there and he's broken his own record multiple times now, and he's got it up over 3,000 for fish caught in a 24-hour period. But what people may not realize is that Kolo is a world-class angler, even irrespective of this record. He has represented the United States in international competition. He is an outstanding angler, and a lot of people don't realize that.
Thank you. You know, you are the man of data behind you. So look at all those books back there. Me, I wouldn't even know what to do with them. Not only does he know what they are and they're categorized, he's got every page memorized. The man is a genius.
An important addition to the bookshelf is this whiskey jigger. So
that's the secret, apparently. No, so I've been really blessed in fishing. So in 1991, I fished my first World Championships representing the United States. And guys, what an extraordinary blessing that was. You know, I'm the Polish kid from Gary, Indiana. Like, how does a guy get to do that? And so I'm standing in Szeged, Hungary, southern Hungary, which not long before that, you know, wasn't exactly, you know, free and liberated, you know, 5, 10, 20 years before. And, you know, I will tell you, pulling down the rope and raising the stars and stripes when your team goes in the opening ceremonies, I have a love for our flag after that and before that day, right? But it was just an amazing, amazing time. And 7 World Championships, you know, all throughout Europe. Been blessed to set a Guinness Book of World Records and kind of improve that. You know, we like to continue improvement. And I get to work around some incredible people in the fishing industry. 4 of them I'm looking at. I got a bunch of colleagues at Johnson Outdoors. And I look at my beloved fishing industry as my family, you know, an extended family, right? And sometimes you can't pick your relatives. These are people you can pick them, which is really nice. But I'm really grateful to be in the fishing world.
Well, you know, you talked about some of your accomplishments, and this is a good opportunity maybe to bring up one more that happened just a little more than a month ago. That is, you know, once again, you know, your company with your branding and marketing expertise won another best of category in electronics. That's the 10th out of the last 11 in electronics and 11 out of the last 12 for the companies and brands you have worked for and served. That is unmatched, my friend.
I am very grateful, incredibly blessed to get to work around some great people. And you know what else? When we win one of those awards, I strive to make that be excellent, right? So that one, the consumer likes the product, because that's the end of it. But I really like it to shine above the rest of the competition. But I do that for the people in the factory. And they don't get a chance to go to that show and hear the applause, but they hear the constant humming of the machinery. They go in at stupid o'clock in the morning and get home at stupid o'clock at night. And they bust their butts to make that. And I feel like I owe them way more than I'm able to do, and to lead a team that'll bring that and give them some recognition, and then make sure that it sells when it gets out there. And let's face it, we're talking about fishing. We talk about fishing gears. That's a pretty thing, easy thing. You know, I mean, if we were talking about caskets, I don't know, that's not a very fun topic. So we talk about fish hooks and electronics, and that's a much better much better day.
It was a very Clem Dipple thing to say, by the way, Jeff.
You're not jiving on him because he's old, are you? Because he is.
But such unparalleled success in the branding and marketing end of things. You do work with an amazing team. Joe Brown, Kathy Dutton, Brad Henry, Judy Douglas, Adam Knowles, some amazing and wonderful people over there. I'm forgetting some of them. I apologize right now.
It's a big group.
But a great group. You guys are wildly successful. What is occurring to me now, though, is the last time you were on Bass U Live, did you get a chance to tell your Bobby Knight story, or was that something you only shared off the air?
I don't know. But it's so good.
I don't remember if it was on the air or off the air, but either way, we'd like to hear it again.
So I wish I'd have known. I would have teed up. I've got a picture of Coach Knight.
The picture is so good.
So I'll send it after this, and you can make a blog or something about it. We are at a Bassmaster Classic event, and they had the Night of Champions dinner. And Coach Knight has been a fisherman forever. And I'd watch him on Jerry McInnes's TV show. They'd go smallmouth fishing in the Boundary Waters, and they were good friends. And I'm born in Gary in Indiana. Like, when you leave the hospital and you're born in Indiana, they hand you a birth certificate and a basketball. That's what you do in Indiana. That's, you play basketball all of your life. So Coach Bobby Knight, legendary coach of Indiana University, also known for his temper a little bit, it was one of those infamous, bigger than life sports heroes. And my uncle, who got me started in fishing, was a big IU fan, still watches every game. And so after this, I wanted to go and meet Coach Knight, really just for my uncle's sake, right? And just say, hey, look, I shook his hand and I told him you're a big fan, and we're a big fan. And so here comes Coach Knight down the hallway, and he's walking with an entourage of people from Bass. And I know my place in the food chain. I wanted to ask him, but I'm not going to interrupt their interaction from my handshake and hello to Coach Knight. So I just kind of slide on back. I know my spot. I went to by the wall of the hallway and allowed them to pass. And Jerry McInnes, God rest him at the time, said, hey, Kolo, hey, how you doing? And Rin just introduced himself and do you like everything? Yes, everything was great. He says, do you know Coach Knight? And I said, well, I know of him. He says, would you like to meet him? I thought, well, what a great fortuitous moment this is. Why, yes, Jerry, I'd like to meet him. Hey, Coach Knight, come over here. Why don't you meet Kolo? We love this guy. This is Jeff Kolozinski, and he fishes and then all this kind of stuff. And I said, hey, Coach, it's been great watching you on TV all these years. I'm an IU grad, and I've watched you for a long, long time. And when I said IU grad, his body posture went from here to here, and he got all up in my business. And I knew that the man meant business after that. I'm thinking, what did I say? Did I say Purdue, like their arch rival? I didn't misspeak. And he looked at me and he says, listen, he goes, I coached for all those years, and he just went off, and he says, you think they'd be more grateful, blah, 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 because apparently it was a bad parting of ways or whatever, and lit
a little bit
me up. Also by Coach Knight's right-hand side was Kevin Van Dam walking with him. When Coach Knight went from here to here, Kevin did this. Looked straight down at his shoes, and he never looked up for the next 5 minutes. I was just pounded amongst the vitals by Coach Knight. You'd have think I had a striped shirt on and a whistle. He abused me, and I just went up one side, down the other. And now I'm thinking, there are 9 people watching this. Kevin is still staring at his shoelaces. God love the brother. He should have helped this boy out.
Yes, he should
have. He should have, man.
Come on,
and
Kevin.
So all I can think about is, how do I gracefully get out of this moment? And I'm thinking, can I phone a friend? And all I could think of was, well, Coach, look, I don't know what they had against you, but we loved watching you, and we're big fans, and we just really appreciate you. And then he goes, well, that's fine. We'll just leave it at that. Spun around, instant 180 out the door. And I went back against the wall. I was like, I went straight to my room after the classic and Googled Coach Knight firing or whatever. And I thought, am I the only guy in the world that doesn't know something? And it turns out it wasn't. Obviously, it was a bad parting of ways. Maybe because he yelled at somebody. I don't know. Could it be? But I got
punched a player
roasted. Yeah. He was known for his temper. He was also known for great teams. But it was a little bit of Coach Knight tough love to make me find manhood.
Damn it,
and the
Kevin.
picture that Jeff has, and that unfortunately we can't see right now, is so great because there's Kolo getting an earful, and there's Kevin Van Dam head down. Please don't notice me. Please don't notice me. Please don't notice me. I did not go to Indiana University.
Yeah. Oh, it was so
in
good.
The room, but not a witness, not a direct witness, unfortunately.
It's a shame we didn't have video and audio of that, because that would have been money.
Right.
Yeah.
Pretty darn.
Well, we got a little audio just now.
You did. You got more than you probably bargained for. Yeah, that's good. That's one of the things that you'll never forget.
No, it's great stuff. It's great stuff, Kolo, and man, what a great event. And what I used my Humminbirds nonstop to catch giant smallmouth all week at Thousand Islands, my friend. And it's awesome that you guys are out there working hard and building these great products. And congratulations on winning at ICAST.
That's my day job. Yep.
Yet again. So
yeah, and I get to peek behind Oz's curtain, and boy, we're not done yet. There's a handful of things coming.
What's coming?
Half the time we're trying to figure out like which one can we launch. This tooling might fall into place sooner than some other things. Very practical examples like that kind of determine which of those series of things and how they relate, what you launch. But I'm really grateful, my tenure at Frable and here at Johnson Outdoors to be around incredible people and some great product lines. And if you couldn't tell, I'm an incurable angler. And so for me to talk about it in a marketing sense or share that, it's the one thing that's best about fishing is it's always best shared with people. And that is one piece that I saw again and again and again this weekend of how excited people are to fish and I'm sitting here in a Lund Impact. This is where this is my thinking room, right? If you can share a gunnel with somebody for a day, that lady, that guy pretty well by the time that's done. Yeah. I love that about fishing, being able to tell those stories.
Yeah, it's special. It's something that we all share. I'm taking my son fishing. I had him up the Thousand Islands, and he got to enjoy a little fishing up north, and it's special that way. But you're right. When you spend a day in the boat with somebody, that person.
How ill I am. I was looking at the Thousand Islands tournament, when I should have been getting ready, because all I wanted to know, Pete, is how is it fishing now compared to how it fished earlier in the year? I just want to know what the fish. I don't even know if I'll ever fish there, but in my mind, as an angler, I'm thinking, what are they doing? What's their seasonal movements? Are they on top water? How deep are they? Whatever else. And it showed out again. I mean, that's an incredible fishery. I need to swing by there.
Yeah, we need to have some kind of Bass University Minn Kota Humminbird symposium.
Idea. Yes. Yes.
Up there. You in for that, BTC? What do you think?
I'm
BTC?
in. Let's go.
I would gladly trade spreadsheets for some bass fishing.
Charge the batteries. Let's go.
It needs to happen in Florida in January or February when all four of you guys are sick and tired of the weather where you live.
I'm okay with that too. That's fine.
We'll do that too.
That's good.
BTC, could you possibly get us access to the special fishing grounds up here at Thousand Islands?
Oh yeah. What do you mean possibly? Done deal. It's done. Just got to get a permission.
I like the sounds of
Mom,
special.
Let's go. We're out.
Yeah. All right, you're in charge.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. That's the funny thing about me. People ask. There's a lot of questions they ask in the marathon, man. One of them is, when do you go to the bathroom? And I just say, whenever I want. I thought about having Kolo as a sponsor because then I could just sit there and nobody would know, right? But we're not going to do that. So I just kind of get up and go do my business. But there's a problem. If you get up at dinner, you can go powder your nose, but the world knows that you kind of went up and you're going to come back a minute later. One of the other things is what fish you like to fish for. And it could be bass, it could be smallmouth, it could, whatever I'm chasing, I'm totally into it. It could be love tarpon, and I really, really love smallies. But it doesn't make any difference to me. So when you talk about, bass fishing, whatever, at Thousand Islands, I'm there. I'm down with the Florida thing. Just let's go hold a rod.
I'm in for anywhere but Jersey.
Take that, Pete.
Well, we'll put something together, man, for sure. And congratulations again. And I want to invite everybody to go over and donate and contribute to the cause. Let's blow 60,000 out of the water. We can do it.
Love that.
Marathonmanfishing.com.
Yep.
That's right.
So good talking to you guys. The next time it's over, it's inside of Gunnels. That's our commitment.
Yes.
I like that.
I'll set it up, Pete. Just give me a budget. Write me a check.
All right.
Blank check. All you got to do is sign it. Pete's easy.
All right.
Pete's getting out the checkbook. El Salto, here we come.
I know.
I like your thinking.
Yep.
El Salto, Thousand Islands, Florida.
Pete.
Oh my goodness.
Round of applause for
this
Pete,
is
everybody.
The place to work right here.
Thank you, Pete. I really
Go to
appreciate it.
Anglers Inn, tell Billy Chapman and the family hello, and go fishing some giant bass.
Like the sounds of this. Bass University, Humminbird, Minn Kota executive trip right here.
That's right.
Hey, listen, you learned Spanish in university, don't you? Well, where else are you going to do it but Anglers Inn? That's schooling. That's Bass University.
Let's go. I'm in.
Rizzles, yeah.
Hola, Bass.
That's right. We did a nice Bass University event down there at El Salto
What do you mean
couple of years back.
Yeah. What's this wee stuff?
Ken, were you there?
I was not there.
Rich, you?
Bri?
No. Maybe it was Kolo. I don't know.
Well,
I wish. I wish.
We got some more things coming, and we're tickled to death to be working with you, Kolo, and the folks at Humminbird and Minn Kota. Appreciate you guys being part of our program. Want you guys to all check out the amazing products.
Love what you guys do.
Well, we love what you do, and you look really good in that hat.
Yeah, I wore thank you. And I wore the shirt because, I better get some use out of this because you can't exactly book a dinner, show up at a restaurant with this. So I figured, I'm around some fishing guys. I might as well. This is dressed up now.
Yeah. You don't wear that to the marketing meetings at your office?
No, but I got one tomorrow. I might wear it in there and just take a picture, a little selfie, and send that to you, Pete. That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome.
You'd be like, dude, you've lost your mind. Again.
You don't need the shirt for people to come to that conclusion, Jeff.
Yeah. It has my name on there in case I forget anything and they find me wandering around at some boat dock somewhere. Then they know where it's Kolozinski. We're good.
Well,
you're the best. You are the best, sir.
Yes, you are.
Thank
you are. Thank you so much for sharing all the stories with us.
Yeah, Kolo.
Jeff, appreciate it. And wish you the best. We'll sign out with the website again, and want to invite everybody to go over and contribute and participate in donating to that program. So, and congrats. So, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So, what's up with the Guinness book? Is this a new world record? What's going on? Do we have a record? What's happening?
Well, what had happened was,
my man, go ahead.
So years ago, I was catching 1,000, 2,000 fish, and the board of directors of Fishing for Life, we were at a meeting, and they said, "Man, it's got to be some kind of record." And I said, "Huh?" Somebody said it's got to be a Guinness Book of World Records. I went, "Huh?" Research it. There wasn't one. So it took us 2 years to get all of the data in line and submit that to Guinness. Because when I was a kid, I thought the dude that did like 9 gazillion sit-ups was a joke and it was all a fraud. And maybe, I don't know, but I can tell you when I did this, we submitted 24 hours of video. We cut out 2 minutes from every hour, submitted that to Guinness. We had 2 counters, 2 humans, write on a ledger the species of fish and the exact time, hour, minute, and second. If there was a discrepancy between those 2 sheets, Guinness disqualified that fish. And so I always caught more than I did, but because of human error, if they didn't reconcile, that fish was out. The Department of Natural Resources, Minnesota DNR, would sign off on that. And the people counting those fish had to be somebody in the community who had something to lose in their their good name. In fact, a state senator counted fish one year. And then I turned in all the media. So like when CBS, ABC, NBC, Fox would come out to cover it, we turn in those news programs plus the newspapers. You turn in, and it's a box that you turn into Guinness, and they review that. And they're like, yep, yeah, you did what you said you did. And we're going to give you a Guinness Book of World Records. If I were intelligent, I would have that. It's in the room next to me, but it's a Guinness Book of World Records certificate. So I did receive that certificate for most fish caught in 24 hours is 2,143. The following year, I didn't make it. I didn't even get the 2143. I missed it by like 100 and some. I was really sad, cried. It was not good. And then the next year, I'm like, okay, I'm going to fix that. Came back and caught 2,654 on Minnetonka public water right off the dock there at Maynard's Restaurant. Wow. Submitted everything just as we had the previous years. I get a letter back and it says, "Dear Mr. Kolozinski, we wish to commend you on a job well done. What you're doing is truly commendable and is wonderful, lovely, whatever else. But we are unable to validate," it was the word they used, "we are unable to validate your record based on," wait for it, "animal cruelty."
What?
I still have the email. And so I'm sitting at my desk and I'm at Frayville. And obviously this is a family show and that's a business environment. But I was never closer to dropping a full-on, perfectly articulated, deafeningly loud F-bomb than that moment. And it got to here, it was like, frish, I think. And I thought, you know what? Wow. And then, yes, I was pretty angry about it. But I realized it's their show, they call the shots. But what was interesting, then I looked and I Googled, other records. There was like a 24-hour record for fish cleaning. Like for filleting fish. I'm guessing that hurts them. I told them, it's a small barbless hook and they watch it. Like if you're really bored, you're suffering from insomnia, you can't sleep, you can watch me on Marathon Man Fishing. I catch the fish, I lift it up, and it goes at about actually real time. If I do this, the muscle memory literally kicks in. I can lift the fish, bring it here, unhook. The float goes back out, back in here, unhook, and the fish is out of the water for 4 seconds or less. Barbless. Wow. They hit the water, spin around, and like, I don't even know what happened. So it's not like I'm being mean to the fish, cruel animals. But that's what it came back. And so every year we say, okay, I want to better the record. I want to do a personal best or beat that record. And somebody started off, we should have an IGFA record for this, or at least something like it. Maybe Freshwater Hall of Fame. I don't know. Not that I'm that cool. Only to have somebody who likes fishing acknowledge a reasonably decent catch. That's, as Paul Harvey would say, the rest of the story.
That's a great story. And we here at Bass University would like to acknowledge a world record. Jeff Kolozinski.
Come on now.
That's right.
That's right.
You got it.
Bass
you got it.
World record. Hey, what
3,168 fish.
Yeah. Jeff, what year did Guinness lose their minds?
That would have been 2021, 2010 or 11.
Okay.
Yeah. And the last sentence of the letter of the notice, and it was what the person with whom we were communicating. Like we had an open channel. I thought it was one of my buddies busting on me at work at first. I'm like, okay, who did that? No, it was real. And it said, we are the final arbiters of this decision, and it cannot be appealed, and that is. Now they did say. We're as they put it in proper English, they said, we're going to let their record rest. In other words, that's it. And they said, silver lining or good, the good news is that no one will be able to beat your record because we won't accept anymore. But I thought, whatever, that's it. But to me, I'll end on this, or I'll talk as long as you got, clearly. Right? So it was never about a record with me. I just wanted to use whatever dumb gifts I have to help out people and do it in the language of fishing because it's been so good to me. And so if I can raise a few dollars or shine a light on some people that are doing truly amazing things, man, that's my jam. That's what I love to do. Right on. And I'm really, really blessed. Thank God I get to do it. And I got a great industry of people, fellow fish heads. That's a compliment. Like you guys, that we get to do this stuff together. And so it's a real blessing that way.
Right on, man.
Right on.
Yeah.
It is. And thanks so much for sharing all this stuff with us and hanging out with us tonight.
And thanks for all you do for the industry and the sport, Jeff. Thank you.
Thank you. It's not even my pleasure. It's my joy, really. Truly is. You know, I got by a Black Rifle coffee and a peach milkshake from Chick-fil-A.
Peach milkshake.
That's all it takes.
That's what gets me through. Oh, man.
How are the lines
That's
at Chick-fil-A
money.
where you're at?
Somebody else got it for me. Otherwise, they'd be like, Kolo's gone for 3 hours. Where's he at? But it's worth it. I do it in a
That would
heartbeat.
affect the mission.
Yeah.
Next time, right? Next time I'm going to put one of those hydration packs on there with a peach milkshake, and I'll get 5,000 fish. It'll be great.
I didn't even know they had them.
Ooh.
Oh.
First one I ever had was in Maryland. They're up by you guys.
Yeah.
They have donuts too. Are their donuts any good?
I don't know they had donuts. What's this donut you speak of?
I think they have donuts.
Ooh.
Huh.
Well, all right then.
Yeah,
I have a new mission.
Peach milkshakes, donuts,
It is.
Black
Yep.
Rifle coffee.
Yeah.
You know,
That is the you know, some people like run miles and do sit-ups and pull-ups. No, that's my regimen right there.
Are you going to sleep? You got to get some sleep, man.
I am it is 8:14 local time, and I'm gonna clean up and I'm gonna rack out. I'm gonna hit the hay and catch up on some rest. My voice is slowly coming back. The more of these I do, the harder it is on your body. Actually, this is the first year I've ever acknowledged that there may have been some slight discomfort in this. But seriously, I'm fishing. There are people out and doing recon and doing real work. You know, that's nothing for me.
Jeff, what do you usually talk about when you're sleeping?
Yeah, right. It's probably fishing too, which is a terrible thing.
All right. Probably
that was
right.
good, BTC. That's good. That was good.
Well,
Yeah.
hey, once again, thanks so much. Appreciate you. Go get some rest and, you know, enjoy that peach milkshake or whatever you might have over there.
Right.
Humminbird 360s
fantastic.
for everyone. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's love it. That's what we're fishing with when I come out with you guys.
Yes.
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 I need
Look
that.
forward.
Fellas, stay well. God bless y'all. Keep fishing. And I can't wait to hang out together in real life.
Yep.
Yes.
Pete's
We'll
gonna,
see you soon, buddy. Have a great night. Jeff Kolozinski.
All right.
The
Mission
marathon.
accomplished.
That's
Yes,
marathon.
sir.
Great job, man.
Awesome.
As
Thank you,
always,
sir.
as with everything
See you
you
guys.
do.
Be good. See you guys.
That
Pete,
was awesome.
Pete, I can't wait for our trip. So where are you going to take us all?
Are we on air
apparently
now or are we
gotta
not
go
on air?
Mexico,
We're
and
on
we're
air.
going to
Say
Florida.
something wildly outrageous like I do when I think we're off the air. Now's your chance.
No, we're still on, Jeff.
Yeah,
I love your
I ain't
exercise
eating the
regimen, by
cheese,
the way.
brother. I ain't eating the cheese on that one. No way.
Oh, I fall for it all the time. Love your exercise regimen. My biggest workout is I wake up in the morning and I wrestle with my self-doubts, and that's about as far as I go. But yeah, we got
Good.
He's going to take us all fishing. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, I can't wait, Pete. Thank you, sir.
He's committed on the air.
Yeah,
This is live. There's no taking this back.
we're gonna have
I'm committed.
Yeah, we're forming a committee tomorrow to work to you know decide where we're going to go and
Look, if we have to, I might have to grab a Tyson Alvanos or somebody and come out and fish with you guys, and we'll just
Yeah.
rent a vehicle. You guys have the boats. We'll take care of that and just make that happen.
Content trip.
That would be really good.
Yep.
Yes. Truly.
Right now in our area, the striped bass fishing is kind of off the hook right now.
Really?
Yeah.
or right before the hurricane.
Oh, striped. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was thinking hybrids. Yeah, I'll bet. You know, it was big schools of bait and everything happening now. Yeah, it's a good time.
And then we got the floods of 2021.
What
It
happened
changed-
there?
Changed a little bit, but
Has that ever happened before? Anything like that even?
I mean,
Probably.
I don't know if it was to that extent.
I mean,
but-
back Noah had to deal with some stuff, but you know.
Yeah, right.
Pete, well, how was that arc, by the way? Tell us about it.
Was that another old joke? Really?
Well, Pete knows
When they attack Pete, they're attacking me even more.
Well, you know, it's okay. It's good. I'm the old guy. Growing up, I was always the young guy, but in this crew, I'm the old guy, and that's cool. You know,
what section of the river did he split when he, separated everything?
All I know is there a guy who has won more bass tournaments than I've ever entered, and that would be Pete Glusick, ladies and gentlemen. So I got nothing right there. I got nothing to stand on.
Hey,
No stones to throw.
When youth leaves, may wisdom be enough, my friends.
Wow, it's a good one.
Just Google that.
I like that.
Say that again.
Yeah.
When youth leaves, may wisdom be enough.
Youth
quote
using that
from Winston Churchill.
Yeah, youth left.
No doubt. He was a wise man.
Yeah. Youth pieced out a long time ago.
Yeah, I don't know if he fished, so I don't know if he's one of us. But
if he didn't, then his accomplishments mean nothing to me. The fact that I'm free means nothing. If he didn't fish, no, that's good.
Well, so do we have prizes to give away, Riz?
Yeah, we do, Pete. We got a grand prize that we're going to be giving away. That's actually going to be from a Ken Duke trivia question, as well as a Facebook like and share that's going to be going out the door as well.
Hey, Pete. So, did you talk to Pete about this?
No. So,
what?
You were speaking of the
part in the river.
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, I guess it has a little bit to do with that. But so, like you alluded to, Pete, pre-storm, the striper fishing out on our home water had been very strong. Since the storm, it has gone away a little bit. But yesterday evening's Delaware River float, it gave me another bite from a fish, which was something that I had never caught out there before, which was a drum in the northern section of the river.
What?
Yeah, a drum ate a spinnerbait in about a foot of water. So.
And you thought you had a good one, didn't you?
Well, I don't know how much you know about the Delaware River and the size of the bass we catch out there, but I
that's true.
I knew instantly that it was not a largemouth bass. And when I got it to the side of the boat and it wasn't a catfish or a striper, to say I was surprised would be an understatement. It was about a 10-pound drum.
What?
Yep.
Dude, that has to be like hurricane moving water masses around and fish around.
Yeah,
something's going on.
Dude, something's been going on since 2012.
And Pete, it wasn't I wasn't down by the Commodore or down, towards the, lower end. I was up by Moorestown, Riverton. So it's kind of bizarre, but yep, Jerome out on the upper part of the Delaware River.
Jerome.
Yep.
Do you got to send us that photo, man? Maybe because we get saltwater drum, like whatever those, black drum or whatever.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I looked it up. Yeah, it was definitely a drum that like the guys catch out in, the saltwater part of the Delaware Bay.
Wow.
So.
Yeah. There's something going on with all this weather.
A spinnerbait too.
Yeah, crushed it, dude. Crushed it. in as dirty of water and shallow as you could ever imagine.
Yakima makes a spinnerbait called the drum roller for just that fish.
Huh.
The drum roller.
You're amazing.
Drum roller.
I think all the charter boat captains out on the Delaware Bay right now are like bringing up spinnerbaits.
Yeah. They should be.
Whatever. Nothing makes sense anymore.
No. What's the trivia question?
You want to roll that out?
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, well, Ken, you're on the spot. And
which one did you guys want to go with here? Do you want to go with the only guy to win 2 out there? Is that the one you want?
I want whatever you want, Ken.
You pick, buddy.
Yeah.
All right.
Chef's choice.
EASS has had about 25 tournaments on the St. Lawrence River, pro level tournaments, opens, elites, invitational, stuff like that. out of these 25 or so events, only one angler has won more than one. Who is the angler? How many has he won? And there is silence.
Yes.
There is silence with Kolo on the show. That's hard to believe.
I told you nothing makes sense anymore. So Pete, I wanted to bring up this topic. I know you and I briefly talked about it. I want to see what Ken and Kolo think about. What's up with the 15-inch minimum in that BFL up on the St. Lawrence? And what's your thoughts on it? And Ken, what's your thoughts on that? It was just, that was just an audible they called.
Yeah. Well, here's I'll let you know my thoughts on it, and you guys can comment. But the limit should have been, in my opinion, whatever the state limit is, and that's the way our tournaments have always been conducted. And so that's what I think it should have been. And honestly, I think it's a real benefit to the co-anglers in particular, because the co's seem to be most upset about it of the guys that got in the boat with me. They're, man, if they got a legal fish, they want to weigh it in. They want to get points. They want to get credit for it. So there you go. I think they ought to go as all other tournament trails do, with the state regulation on what the limit should be. That's what I think. What do you think, BTC?
I agree. I don't, well, there's not a conservation aspect to it, because, it's not the little ones that are dying, if that was the issue. So I really don't know what the thought process was. And I agree with you there. Like you said, for the co-anglers, as it is, they can only weigh in 3 fish,
Dude, there's moments. I'm telling you right now, I would have had the AOY locked up on my first bite, but I had to throw them back.
Oh, well, that's rough. Yeah. Ken, thoughts? Kolo?
Let Jeff go first.
We don't have enough time.
Yeah, right. The show has to end by next Saturday. And I don't really have any on that one. All I could say is it's going to change the strategy. And, do you want to have a tournament that is really built on strategy, or just going out and catching fish a lot like the rest of us do? And I like it when a tournament looks like how the rest of the people fish. So the closer it is to that, I like it more. I don't fish professionally, so I don't even know that my vote counts, actually.
I don't fish professionally either, but I'm gonna jump on the coattails of something Jeff just said about fishing the way the average angler goes out there and fishes based on the standard state limits, and Pete referenced that too. I also like that. I want to stick with whatever the state regs are for the most part. I will say this, having worked for major tournament organizations, I can tell you that that's usually possible. It's usually possible for them to get those kind of rules waived for the purpose of a conventional weigh-in and so forth. When they don't do that, it's often because, they forgot, which, believe it or not, happens, or they're not diligent enough, which happens, or they just don't realize that it's important and makes a difference. I'll also say that when you bump the size limit up from, say, 12 to 15 like this, really the only part of those standings that you're impacting are from maybe 20th or 25th place down. You're not hurting the guys who are likely to have a shot at winning that much necessarily. You're hurting the guys who are a little bit lower in the standings. Maybe they're fighting for points to qualify for something bigger sometime, and that matters. And I hate to see that, but it happens a lot of times. It happens whether the tournament organization negotiates to fish what might otherwise be an off-limits area, size limits, creel limits, culling rules. All of those can be waived if the tournament organization gets out there and does their job, in my opinion.
And the MLF does where they originally it was any measurable fish counts. Then it was 2-pounders. Then they have big fish. I got confused by all that. And they also stepped outside of that, and they're doing the 2-pound rule now up at Lake St. Clair. And You know, I think that was the thing that separated them, was any fish counts, you know, any legal fish counts. Let the legal fish count. For crying out loud, people, let the legal fish count. Let Kolo get the Guinness Book World Record. He's not hurting those fish. They're
Come on, that is the official one right there.
There it
Beautiful.
is.
And this is before they lost their minds. I'm not being Ken. I know this is taped. I'll not be negative and insults upon Guinness. They still make fine beverages. God bless them. But yeah, it's
if there is no other lesson from this show, it needs to be let's not be Ken.
No, we should all be Ken.
Yeah, no. Speak your mind and
let's not be Ken. I don't even want to be
you
Ken.
must have been naughty today, young
I don't
man.
even want to be Ken.
Stop it. So wait, the Guinness Book of World Records is the same. It's the beer company.
I believe so. I think it's the same thing.
Oh, all right. Well, that
Wow.
changes a few things.
I think.
Not that I drink much Guinness, but I think I'm
I
going to
believe
drink
it
less.
is. Yeah, I believe they're the ones who got behind it first, sponsored it first, published the books.
Pretty smart. Pretty
Yeah.
smart.
All right,
Good
I got one more, and I really want Ken's opinion on this. The cut, the third day cut on these events, especially the working man's tour, you know, trails. Opens is a little bit more, certainly a lot more professional, but why are they cutting 150 boat whatever field down to 10 on day 3? I think
Usually
that's I'll finish. Sorry. I hate that, man. I mean, these guys, you know, you take off work, you drive a long distance, 6, 7, 8 hours, you pay a lot of money, and you're going to cut to 10?
It has to do with media resources usually, Brian. If they only have 10 cameras or they only have however many cameras, that's quite often what they'll cut to.
Right, and when it's not a televised
they
event.
save money.
Yeah.
I hate cuts. I hate all cuts. I hate the cuts in the elites from whatever the full field is down to 50 or whatever. I hate cuts because they make our sport less fan friendly. You know, you think, oh, I'm going to go out, I'm going to go check out the elite weigh-in, and I'm going to get Rick Clunn's autograph and Denny Brower's autograph and, you know, David Fritz's autograph or whatever. Well, no, you're not. Not if they miss the cut. They're packing and they're going home. So let's make the sport less fan friendly. Why don't we do that? That's really smart.
Well, that's the other league did that.
So yeah, that's my rant on making the sport more fan friendly. My idea is, okay, if you want to have cuts because you have limited media resources, at least require the guys to hang back at the weigh-in, sign autographs, interact with the fans, work a booth.
Yeah.
Let's keep them there so that they can interact and help build the sport.
You know what? I have no dog in this fight. I have no experience here, but I'm compelled to offer my 2 cents, even though unasked. Take that. I think they should, you know, because I'm just a fan, and how cool it would be, you know, to hang out with Denny Brower or to get an autograph with some of those guys. And I think, you know, when they talk about, you know, talking about their vendors, their manufacturers, the sponsors, whatever, it's a great time to say, you know, I'm the figurehead of this brand, whatever happens to be, and just go out and interact with people. I would be for that. I would vote for that, Ken Duke.
Me
Absolutely.
too.
Well, these organizations could do other things too that I think would benefit the sport. Like they don't give that booth space away, and they're charging for that. They're making money on that, and I think they should give a few booths away to local bass clubs so they can recruit and try to create some new members. I think they should give that space away to the local conservation organization, state or otherwise. I think they should give that space away to antique tackle collectors or something, so they can show off and show people that there's more to the sport than just the competition. That's too small a part of our sport.
Yeah. And I think they should also give that booth space away to the Bass University TV.
Agreed.
So,
yeah. Right on.
Amen.
And Humminbird too, right?
Now, Pete, what's your opinion on the cuts?
I'm anti-cut. I don't think cuts should exist. If there's no media motive, they should not exist. You know,
right?
I think it's more than that, guys. You know, think about it. If you're the angler who misses the cut, and that's your opportunity to show off your sponsors. Sure, everybody with Humminbird and Minn Kota equipment is making the cuts. We all know that. But the guys who are not making the cuts need to show off for their brands.
Yeah.
They need that opportunity, and I hate they lose that opportunity.
Ken, the opportunity is really impacted now. I noticed in the Opens and the Toyota Series in your ability to communicate during the weigh-in process with the COVID regulations and whatnot. It's like all you hear is the tournament speaker speaking, each individual angler. Like, can you imagine if Kolo was coming across the stage and they didn't give him a mic?
Everybody would be better for it in the crowd. That's what would happen.
No, well,
they'd go home earlier.
I get it that things are different right now, but I'm not going to let that excuse exonerate these people for a problem that's existed for decades. This has been going on a long time.
Said.
Yes,
they can fix this if they will.
Get them.
If they will just do the smart thing, which is a lot to ask in our sport. It's a lot to ask, but just do the smart thing.
Well, I can tell you, when I come across the stage and I don't have a chance to talk about sponsors or, my day or make some kind of, funny comment or something.
Yeah.
It really stinks, honestly. It's
we do this to watch the anglers, and that's when you get to kind of connect with them. And so you're really robbing the very fan experience of that whole thing. And so I can't just look at somebody in a print magazine. I can't just watch somebody online, because let's face it, I'm probably not going to be watching your tournament organization. Doesn't matter who it is, because they've got their own website and YouTube or whatever else. So that's the one time a tournament organization can say, we partner with these anglers. We're the place for you to learn. Let's hear them talk. I would like to hear them talk.
Me too.
I do have one exception, though, guys. I think the guy who's in 183rd place and he takes the stage
he don't get to
and
talk.
He says, well, I didn't catch him today, but thank God I had my Skeeter Yamaha and I was safe and dry. That guy needs to miss a few cuts.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, it's got to be. In my perfect world, somebody is really saying something reasonable.
Yeah, but that's where the on-stage announcer can help, and help that guy bring out his brand. They should be.
We've all seen the Gong Show, right?
Before exactly, it's a talk show too. Yeah, and Kolo would be the guy for that. Kolo knows. Nobody knows more about brand building than Mr. Kolozinski, and he'd be the perfect guy to help these anglers build their brands, which is something that most of them do very poorly.
How long would a weigh-in be if everybody weighing in was like Kolo, though? Let's be honest.
No,
this is why Kolo does Marathon Man over 24 hours.
It'd be 24 hours. They'd be weighing in and launching at the same time the next morning. Nobody's sleeping.
No kidding.
But we'd bring Bobby Knight in for a comic relief.
There you go.
Just for a beatdown. That would be great. You know what? For next year's event, Duke, you need to bring Bobby Knight and give him like a Louisville Slugger and make it be a total surprise. Not just be hammering away fish, and all of a sudden Kolo just gets pounded. That would be for great viral TV.
He gets within one fish of his record, and he gets hit in the back of the head with a chair.
Beat up by Bobby Knight.
That's right.
Yeah.
Kolo was a great guy. He's dead, but Coach Knight killed him.
All right. So do we get a winner?
Yeah. We have a winner.
Did anybody win your trivia question?
They sure did within like the first minute.
Half hour ago.
Yeah.
You guys are smart.
Okay.
About 40 minutes ago. And Mr. Higgs with the correct answer of Kevin Van Dam has 3. Mr. Higgs, congratulations, man. You just won yourself a Aquaview Micro 5.0 underwater.
Those are really cool.
In honor of Pete's AOI and the BFLs this year that he didn't get to speak at ever.
So Van Dam is a great angler, but he's absolutely no help if you're being abused by Bobby Knight.
This is true.
In a bar fight, he's not your guy. That's all I'm saying.
Points off, Kevin. Points off for that.
I'm going to hear it from him soon, too, though. He hears this. That's good.
What else we got?
In a bar fight, he's no good, huh? That's fun.
No.
Oh, it's good stuff. We got a Facebook like and share, and are we ready to wrap this up, boys?
Yeah, we still got a Facebook like and share. We got that winner picked out too. If we're ready to go and dish that out. The winner of tonight's Facebook like and share for the Bash University Live is Dakota Stramka. Congratulations, Dakota Stramka, watching from Illinois. Congratulations,
Illinois.
You won
Wow.
yourself a $50 prize pack from all the Bash University's awesome sponsors.
Awesome. Well, it's great stuff. Appreciate you guys, everybody watching, everybody being on the show tonight, guys. And Kolo and Mr. Duke, appreciate you guys very much. We're going to be back next week with another Bash University Live on Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. Brian, is there anything that I'm forgetting about?
I don't know. Kolo?
Kolo,
We all have to go to work
We got
in the
another
morning,
24
so I'm
hours.
just gonna stop. Just
Kolo, you're coming across the stage. You got 3 pounds and 14 ounces. What are you going to say?
Go.
I sucked. Here's the next guy. He caught fish. Right?
Yeah.
What else? What else is there?
Oh, well, you said there
love
was a new release from Humminbird. You said you were going to breaking news tonight.
I think that was tomorrow's show.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
We'll try again
love
tomorrow.
Soon.
Well, thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody, for being part of the show. Thanks, everybody, for watching. And go subscribe to bashu.tv. It will truly help you become a better angler. Get over there and check it out. And Kolo, thanks. Mr. Duke,
Have fun, guys.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much. Yeah,
My pleasure.
Thank you, BTC, Riz. We will catch you guys next week, Tuesday, 7 p.m., Bash University Live. Good night, everybody.
See you guys.